Hello there. Welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 864. That is Ocho Seis Cuatro of the Agostinho Zinga show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of London. I'm your lovely host. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. How am I? Pretty good, all things considered. No, I'm not good. I'm not good at all. I'm not good. I'm gonna go against my usual intro and I'm gonna say I'm not good at all, because you know what, I told you previous episodes that I was meant to be somewhere this weekend, didn't I? I was meant to be somewhere this weekend, actually from Thursday to Monday, a really nice juicy trip to one of my favorite places in the world, a place that I love to visit but I would absolutely hate to live, Berlin. I'm meant to be in Berlin right bloody now. I was meant to fly out on Thursday and come back on Monday. I was meant to fly out specifically on flipping Thursday morning and come back and flipping Monday evening. So I would have had a nice time. I was meant to go see Daniel Wang. Remember Daniel Wang? With the beef with Peggy Goo and stuff? I was meant to go see Daniel Wang on Paloma Bar. I was meant to go out on the Friday night to Rose's Bar, one of my favorite little gay bars in flipping Berlin that's like covered in flipping haberdashery and pink, red sort of silk and carpet on the roofs and all these trinkets and stuff. It's an amazing little club. If you know, you know. Big up Lost Bro. You know, you know. On the Saturday, I was meant to go to flipping Powerhouse and then maybe go to Berghain and see Roy Perez play in Pano Bar. I had so many things planned, so many things saved on my Instagram, so many things saved on my phone, so many screenshots, so many Twitter bookmarks, and it all fell, it all crumbled. Guess why? Yes, you guessed it, it wasn't my fault. No, it was my fault. It wasn't my fault and it was my fault. I'm gonna say it was 99% my fault, 0.1% someone else's fault. So what happened is this: my passport is expired, but it's not expired. So on my passport, which I don't have now because I renewed it already, but on my passport, the expiry date says the 24th of February, 2025. And I was meant to be flying out this past Thursday. Now, if you know dates, you'd know that this past Thursday, and even when I come back, which is meant to be next week, Monday, would have been way before the 24th of February, right? You know that, innit? Cool. Well, I didn't know that your passport expiry date doesn't mean you can travel up until that date. Some of you, I'm sure, are way smarter than I am. You've traveled way more than I have, or you just know these things. But I didn't know your passport expiry date, the one that says on your, you know, if you're a UK citizen, it says the expiry date, not date of issue, the expiry. That isn't actually the date that you can travel up until. Okay, you can travel up until that date if you live in the UK and you want to travel within the UK. But if you want to travel in Europe, there are some locations in Europe, sometimes the world, that require 3 months or up to sometimes 10 months of a buffer, technically, for you to travel there, which is a bit weird. But I think the reason why they do it is to prevent people from like using their passport essentially until the end, which might bring issues because, you know, humans are weird. I'm sure there were instances in the past where people would fly out, let's say, the day before their passport expires and try and come back the day it does expire. And then technically say, oh, but I was in Australia, so technically all this sort of nonsense. Or it may be to avoid some sort of illegal immigration. I'm not too sure what the rule is, but essentially the expiry date on your passport isn't actually the date that your passport expires. That's the thing that I've learned, which is absolutely wild in my point of view, because I feel like if that's not your actual date of expiry, then what's the point of having an expiry date on your passport? You know, like why not have the actual date? You know, but whatever. Anyway, I was in the wrong, and then so what happened to me? I woke up in the morning, and my flight was at 7:30 to go to Berlin Brandenburg from Stansted Airport. My flight was at 7:30 in the morning. So you know, if you know me, you know that I'm a little bit last minute. I'm a little bit of a mess when it comes to packing and shit. But this time I actually packed in advance. This is why it's kind of killing me more. This time I actually packed in advance. I packed on a fucking Wednesday, which I never do. I usually pack on the day of I'm packing. So I packed the day before, which is a big deal for me. I packed the day before. I get my outfit sorted. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't too much work because I already went in December. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to wear. outfits that I didn't, some drip that I didn't wear last time. I'm also aware of the weather. So I knew what to wear. I knew what to put in my bag, And I already washed loads of stuff during the week. So it wasn't like I was scrambling for shit. I had my underwear, I had my socks, I had my t-shirts, my jeans, a couple of jackets, some shoes. I had all my fucking skincare. I was ready to rock. Ready to flipping rock. I leave my house at like, 4, I think. I get to Stansted Airport around, I don't know, 5:45-ish. And then I kind of get, I kind of go to the gate. I walk to the check-in desk at 6 a.m., which is kind of like a good time before my flight because my gate closed at 7 a.m. So I got more than enough time to get through immigration, to get through, control and get to the flipping gate. When I go to check my bag in, usually on Ryanair, they have these there's like a self-check-in area where you can check your bags. And they don't, and in that self-check-in area to check your bags, they don't usually have a person there. It's usually just a computer that you kind of press. You press this computer, and then you kind of tap your card. You kind of scan your boarding pass, or you scan your passport. I forgot which one it is, but then you can basically do it yourself, check in yourself pretty easily. It gives you instructions on how to attach the little sticker on your luggage, and boom, Bob's your uncle, granny's your aunt. Well, this time it was different. This time there was two ladies that kind of screen you before you go to the self-check-in thing. And they say, yeah, can we check your boarding pass and your passport? I bring up my boarding pass and passport. Usually you go through easy. And I got the dreaded, sorry, sir. I was like, what? What do you mean, sorry, sir? And again, I had no idea my passport expired. So don't think that I went to the airport trying a thing. I had no idea it would expire because my passport says 24th of February, 2025, it's going to expire. I was traveling I left my house on the 3rd, which was like the 23rd of January. That's a whole month before. So regardless, right? I didn't think that was any issue. The lady, sorry, sir. I went, what? Sorry, sir, you can't travel with this. Do you have any other documentation? Like any other country, any other ID? I was like, no. And then the other girl next to her was like, yeah, I see you're from Luanda, Angola. Do you have like Portuguese citizenship or anything? I was like, no. I can't even speak Portuguese. Like, Portuguese citizenship. I was like, no. Well, I'm sorry, sir, you can't travel with this document. You have to go to customer service in zone F. I was like, customer service? Ryanair? Oh, this is a flop, mate. This is an L. This is not going to work. You want me to go to customer service? They're not going to do nothing. I was like, oh. And as they were talking to me, because they were in the queue, you could hear the people behind me, like their hearts were breaking for me. They're like, oh my God. I saw they were looking so sad for me. The people behind me were more distraught than I was. They were so gutted for me. They're like, oh no, look at this poor black boy. Look at this poor IC3 male. Look at this poor immigrant working class guy. He probably just got his passport yesterday. He can barely speak English. And look at him. Look at this poor boy. This poor really big back boy. This poor wide boy. And I was just like, immediately just come to service. I knew straight away this is going to be an L. But I thought, you know what? Let me go to customer service anyway, just in case. Went around to customer service. Hiya. I got a look. Hiya. I got a look. And I thought, okay, cool. I remembered, it was a reminder of what customer service people are like on airlines. If you watch those, airline shows, you'll know they don't take no shit. And they're not the most jovial people in the world because they have to encounter some absolute cretins, absolute horrible people. The worst of the worst. So they always have a bit of a guard up. They always a little bit dismissive and kind of cunty. I was like, hiya. The girl was like, and the desk on the right on the, I don't know if they do this on purpose, but the desk, when you go to an airline, it feels like the people who are sitting behind the desk are way low. So they have to kind of make a bit of an effort to look up at you. So she's kind of annoyed that she has to look up. And then she's got a bit of a smirk on it, a bit of a frown smirk, what's this guy's deal? Kind of look at me. And I'm trying to give her my nice smile, right? She's not having it. Yeah? She goes, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, the lady around the corner said I couldn't travel with this passport, but it actually ends on the 24th. I gave her the whole spiel. I gave it to her. She looked at it and said, yeah, you can't travel. She handed it back. I was like, yeah, but could you explain what's going on? She's like, you can't travel. But I said, but it's the 23rd. It's the 23rd now. My passport expires next month, 24th February. Why can't I travel with this? I'm just I genuinely want to know. And I think then she realized I was being sincere. She realized I wasn't being a cunt and I wasn't trying to sweet talk her to get me through. And then she kind of put a guard and she's like, okay, cool. Let me explain to her. And she stood up. She's like, okay, cool. So she got the little calendar out. Basically, this is what happens. This is the fucking swing. And she explained to me this. the 3-month rule, which I then Googled on the way home. No, I Googled as I sat on the bench. So I kind of left the area when they said I couldn't travel, and I sat on a little bench. If you went to Stansted Airport, you know there's a little bench next to the window as you come into Stansted Airport. I sat on one of the benches like a loser, Googling the 3-month rule. And if you're wondering what the 3-month rule is, for those of you that are probably going to travel later on, this is the 3-month rule. The 3-month rule for passports, which I didn't know. I did not know this is a thing before I went there. If you guys know, then please forgive me for being dumb and for being a mess. But I didn't know this was a thing because my passport expires on the 24th of February 2025. I was traveling on the 23rd of January 2025. That's a whole month ahead. It should have been fine, but it wasn't fine. Cool. Well, the 3-month rule is as follows, courtesy of Google. The 3-month rule in regards to passport means that many countries require your passport to be valid for 3 months beyond your planned departure date for that country. Essentially meaning you need to have at least 3 months remaining validity on your passport when you enter the country. This is often referred to as a minimum passport validity rule. And I thought this was a Brexit thing, but somebody in the Random Show live stream, big up the Random Show people, by the way, make sure you subscribe to the Random Show. Link should be on my channel. If you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see it there. But someone on the Random Show stream yesterday said this has been in effect since 2002. So maybe I just wasn't aware, or maybe what happened, I think, which is really embarrassing, when I was living at home, which was more than 10 years ago, I think my mum was the one that told me when to renew my passport ahead of time. Because I think this is the first time I've had my passport on my own. So I think before then, she would never let it get to the end. Because sometimes we travel with her, go, you know, whatever, somewhere in Paris to visit family, da-da-da-da. So she'd always make us renew our passport. Or she'd renew it for us. And I think she'd renew it for us. I'm not going to lie. So I think she'd tell us, hey, renew your passport. Don't let it get to the end. So I remember that being a thing. So now that I have my own passport it's my responsibility and I live by myself, now I suddenly run into this issue. I don't know if that proves that I'm a fucking mummy's boy or I'm immature or I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, or if I just wasn't paying attention or I'm just unlucky. I don't know. But I had no idea this was a thing. I had no idea this is a thing. And it's actually a thing because in some countries, as it says here, key points about the 3-month passport rule, it's not universal. While some countries enforce this rule, some may have different requirements, like needing 6 months. So basically, there is no place in the world where you can travel unless you live in that locale with a passport that is about to expire next month. They don't let it happen. You have to have a 3-month buffer and everything, I'm assuming. You just have to kind of have that in your back of your head. Or just have some time on it in general, which was quite, you know, a bit of an eye-opener. Because I had no idea this was the case. And it's annoying because I think when you buy a plane ticket online, you usually have to input the expiry date. I think so. Or am I mistaken? I swear you have to input the expiry date when you buy a ticket. So I wish they would have like a pop-up that shows you, hey, you cannot fly on this flight. Your passport is expired. Please renew your passport. You will not, or something like that. That would be really beneficial because that would save a lot of hassle. But to be honest, it's not really on them. It's on you really to make sure you check your validity, especially myself. I'm talking to myself. And to be honest, I'm really lucky because I was Googling online and I found people who know this rule, but they push the limit and go anyway. That's what I found. I found on like some travel forums, some Reddits and stuff. I found people who actually do this on purpose. They don't want to renew their passport, you know, before they go on their trip, and they actually try and push it. And sometimes it works. Sometimes they're lucky and they get to the airport and there's no one checking your passport or boarding pass at the check-in gate. Because I think if I think I would have got through all the way to the gate, personally. If I didn't have to check in my bag, I would have just got through by scanning my boarding pass at the flipping, you know, before you go through to immigration, or before you go through the fucking, you know, check your shit and whatever. And I would have got to the gate and then they would have denied me boarding at the gate, which would have hurt me way more. I'm glad I got denied boarding at the front door at the check-in thing. Because if I would have got denied boarding at the gate, I would have cried. I would have actually cried. I would have actually cried. So I'm happy that didn't happen. And to be honest, in general, I'm not as carp as I would have been in the past about it. I'm not going to lie. In the past, I would have probably crashed out. But because I live by this radical self-acceptance and extreme ownership, you know, way of life, everything is always my fault. I don't blame anybody else. Even if it is someone else's fault, I always take personal responsibility, personal accountability, because I'm the only one that can, I can only affect what I can affect. I can't affect how everybody else acts. So maybe I was unlucky that I bumped into some very, you know, fucking very diligent and, you know, focused Ryanair staff who turned me away. Maybe, who knows? But it's still my responsibility to keep my passport in, you know, in good order so I can travel normally. And to be honest, when I was thinking back at it and I was coming on the way home, I was like, you know what? It was also a bit rushed. Even though I really had to go, it was also a bit rushed. Because I had such a kind of mediocre time in December, I peaked too early and I didn't really plan it ahead of time. I was looking to kind of do January as a makeup for last month. Because last month's trip wasn't that great. Apart from the streaming, which I had fun doing, out there, it was really nice to fucking stream out there and make loads of noise. Because, you know, I don't really live around, you know, I don't really care who lives around me and stuff in the Airbnb. I did kind of rush this makeup one. And it's January too. I should be locked in, doing more work, putting out more content, than traveling around and bouncing around. Do you know what I mean? I could leave that to another time, especially after Christmas and shit. No need to be going out raving and stuff. It's a little bit much. So it's kind of a good thing that's happened because I can kind of focus back on doing my work and shit, which I'm happy about, and focusing on myself and on my little New Year's resolutions and shit. But it was a bit mad coming back home that time because you felt it, because I've never come back home when I'm not coming back from departure. So you kind of felt that I was the only one that was coming back. Everybody else had left. Like the train on the way back was empty because I guess the planes all kind of land at a similar time. People get their bags at a similar time. They leave at a similar time. The airport. There's like a good like crowd management flow. I'm sure that's a job at airports to manage the arrival times and how people leave the plane and wherever so it's not super packed and shit. So it was kind of embarrassing to come back and I didn't have the little strap on my bag. Do you know what I mean? It was like, fucking no, you definitely got turned away. But one thing that I did notice that was really wild, and something that I've mentioned already in a random show, because again, I don't have this experience because I don't really have friends and shit like that. I kind of travel on my own, do my own thing. But there's people out there who are real pieces of shit to their friends. I was sitting on that bench contemplating my fucking life after I got the night boarding to go to Berlin. And I saw a person, right? Or no, I saw a couple. I saw a couple doing the meerkat, turning their head left and right, frantically standing up, looking for a good 45 minutes. And then I surmised that they were waiting for their friend to arrive at the airport. So they're going on a trip together and they all agreed to meet at the airport at a particular time. Their friend was late. And they were legitimately, you can see the panic and the stress in their faces because going to the airport is quite stressful. I'm not going to lie. Even someone like me that doesn't really respond or react to stress, I never get flustered at anything sort of thing. It kind of is a bit stressful. You're always in this constant kind of, panic of like, okay, you don't want to get there late. You don't want to miss your flight. You don't want to get there and the gate's about to close. You don't want to get there and your bag you check in is overweight. You don't want to get there and if you don't have a bag to check in that's overweight, when you're at the gate, someone makes you put your bag in one of those boxes, cages, and it doesn't fit. You've got this constant panic. Should I go to fucking Pret a Manger and pay fucking £10 for a sandwich? Should I go to fucking Weatherspoons and buy a pint of beer at 5 a.m. in the morning? Should I just fucking drink a bottle of water, a warm one for W.H. Smith? You're just constantly panicking. Have I charged my phone? So I can't imagine how much more stress is added to that when you're at the airport waiting for your friend to meet you. I can't imagine how stressful that is when you're waiting for your friend to meet you at the airport. Because those people I saw, that couple, they looked panicked. And I could tell it was more so the husband's friend. The girl was like looking at like, you know what I mean? This is your guy. Like, where's your fucking guy? And then they kept panicking. And then as I was about to leave the airport, I saw the guy come and he was running with his luggage. And he met them and then they started running to go through to fucking clearance or whatever, control. I was like, how can you do that to your friend? How could you make your friends wait for you that long at an airport, knowing how people are stressed at an airport, knowing that there's a limit, there's a gate, you have to get there at a particular time. How can you do that to your friend? People are so inconsiderate, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Look at the stress on these people's faces. They are so worried they're going to miss their flight. They don't want to leave because that's obviously, whatever. But they also don't want to miss their flight. So they're like waiting for this person to come who's taking fucking ages. So yeah, man, missed my, I didn't miss my flight. I was denied boarding. I got there with ample time. I packed everything. I was ready to flipping rock. I had a great Airbnb sorted in Neukölln that I was going to have a blast in. But it didn't happen because my passport wasn't, it didn't have the necessary months in order to let me travel. although technically it says 24th of February, they didn't let me travel. So I had to tuck my tail between my legs and go on home, which was fucking embarrassing. Really fucking embarrassing. Because I knew it was my fault. Even though the passport says 24th of February, I should have double checked. I should have known. I should have not let it get to that you know, that date. I shouldn't have let it get to that close for it to expire. I should have renewed it beforehand. But you know, I guess that is something I had to eat. So big up me. Big up me. Yeah, big up Fashion Road, man. What's going on? We here. What's good? What's good? Big up Kason Moses, Big AZ, the lost passport, bro. No, I'm not a passport, bro. Don't put that on my jacket, bro. It was the team's fault. Yeah, big up Fender, man. Yeah, it definitely was the team's fault. Fenderman 91, big up you. Yeah, okay, Fashion Road, man. You see what I mean? You people know way more than I do. I'm fucking annoyed. Yeah, it's like 3 months before you have to renew it. So everybody knows this. I'm the only one that didn't know this. I'm the only one that didn't know you can't travel until the date it says on your passport. It always have to be 3 months before that you can travel. Like, I didn't know this. Fucking hell. Big up Fashion Road, man. Okay, cool. The one time a fellow black man is on time. Yeah, exactly. No, that's for sure. I'm never not on time for doctor's appointments and for fucking flights. The only flight that I've ever missed in my life was to go to Berlin, actually. Was it Berlin or Barcelona? No, it was Berlin. But that one actually wasn't my fault. That one I got on a coach to get to the airport with ample ahead of time, and that day there's a car accident on the motorway, and it added like an hour and a half to the journey. So I got there late. Like, everybody got late. You know what I mean? Everybody got to the airport late. I think there's a couple on the bus that missed their flight as well. It was one of those fucking freak accidents. But since then, I've never ever got on a coach again. Because I don't know about you guys, in London, the airports are a bit mad. Like, Stansted Airport is it's like an hour outside of London. But it's also the one that kind of goes to all the budget, you know, it's a budget airline airport. And it also goes to some of the main places I like to go to in Europe. But Stansted Airport is only reachable by a coach or like a train that specifically goes to Stansted, and it's quite expensive. It's like £29. So some people prefer to pay £15 for the coach. But if you pay £50 for the coach, you're kind of, you know, you're risking, you're rolling the dice on traffic. So, but now I don't do that stuff. Now I budget in Ubers, I budget in train tickets. I don't play that game. I want to get to my destination. Like, even that Thursday, I took an Airbnb to Liverpool Street Station to go get the Stansted Express. I didn't ramp. I don't ramp with the bus anymore. But that bus journey thing, that coach was the only time I've ever been late. And that as well was like not my fault, really. For the one time, it wasn't my fault. When booking a flight, they say 6 months for passport to expire. Okay, cool. Okay, so Cambridge Football even knows. So everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm the only one that didn't know this. Okay, no problem. No problem, no problem. I'm the only one that did not know this. Just drive, yeah, Cambridge Football. Yeah, I'm looking to do that this year, to be fair. I'm looking to get my automatic license this year. Big up my little brother. Chris, he got his license recently. He's got a nice little Merc that he's pushing around that's nice and tasty. I'm not really bothered about having a car. I just want to have the license so I can rent cars when I need them, here and there. You know, especially if I'm going to the airport and shit, stuff like that, I wouldn't mind doing. Or if I'm traveling to another country, I'd be able to drive around, be pretty decent. Especially if you're going to places, you know, where you can there's maybe good hikes outside of the city. You can just grab a car quickly and kind of go back and forth. So I'm looking to do that this year. I'm looking to take my automatic license this year so I can have a license at least and move around pretty easily around town. But c'est la vie. Probably going to plan a trip maybe in April. I'm going to wait to see what the Berghain lineup is saying, because most of my Berlin trips are centered around what Berghain's doing, because that's the only reason why I'm going there, to club and shit. I'm not really going to hang out for anything else. So I'm going to see what Berghain's saying for the up and coming programs. If they've got a good lineup for like March or April, I'll book something. It'll be pretty easy to do. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Big L, in case you don't know, double check your passport before you travel. Make sure there's that whatever that 3 month rule is in your country. It might be 5. It might be someone said in the street chat before that they have 6. I think Canada's got like a standard. So every country has their sort of thing. And I guess in general anyway, if your passport gets down to the last 6 months, just renew it. You know, I'm the fucking idiot. Like, if your passport gets down to the last 6 months, even a year, just renew it. There's no need to play any games. So I've renewed it now. Should be getting mine in a couple of weeks. So it should be all good. It should be all good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. This is a weird topic to talk about because I'm sure some of you won't care about this. And it's something that only I have noticed. But while going for PDF, Yeah, PDF. A bit of a sus name, but there's this brand called PDF by this designer called Domenico Formichetti, and there's something about it that I don't like. And it might be because it feels like panda wear, pandering wear. It feels like cosplay. It feels like cultural appropriation. There's something about it that just feels a little bit disingenuous. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's because I know what the founder's name is and his background, being Italian, I'm assuming. It just feels a bit weird that he designs clothes in this very African-American hip-hop black way, and he's very not black. Again, it doesn't make sense. I know this is dumb and it's fashion shit, but there's something about how he kind of, is it fetishization? I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is about it. It just doesn't sit right with me. And this latest show is another example of it. He did a show during Milan Fashion Week, which Hypebeast have covered here. It said that Milan Super Studio on Friday evening, Domenico Formichetti, fervent fashion label, made its official runway debut with a hybrid collection for the streets and the mountains. As you can see, from the streets. And as you can see by these two pictures, you know, you got what you'd expect from a brand that is aimed specifically at black people. You've got like a twist on the Timberland. You've got some shorts that are sagging. You've got a hoodie. You've got a nice beanie. A guy with dreads. Like, you know what it's kind of doing. Those kind of ticking the boxes. I don't know. There's something about it that just feels really disingenuous. And the unfortunate thing about this brand is that it's one of Drake's favorite brands. Drake rocks with PDF heavy, which is a bit wild considering the allegations that Kendrick Lamar put at him, right? He rocks with PDF heavy. Like, he likes the shoes. He was wearing the shoes. But I personally don't get it. I just don't get this brand. There's something about it that I don't rate. Maybe it's kind of like, it kind of feels like a Miri to me. And Miri is the same sort of thing. And Miri feels like a flipping Hedy Slimane, Saint Laurent, you know, first stint, or the, you know, that stint in Saint Laurent kind of tribute brand. And I feel like this brand PDF is almost similar to that, but aimed at black people, right? Like, all the models look a particular way, the sagging, the fake, you know, the flip on the Timberland boots. Like, I don't know, man. There's something about it I just don't like. Like, what? Like, look at the boxes. Like, what is this? What has he got printed on the boxes? Some sort of cut-out pattern. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? I don't know, man. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. There's something about it I just don't like. I appreciate what he does with the footwear. The fact that he has his own flip and his own style that's easily identifiable. Like, if you see these boots, you're not going to mistaken them for Timberlands, even though they've taken a lot of cues from Timberlands. He designs these boots in a very specific way. They must feel very, they almost feel like anime, like an anime illustration or something, if that makes any sense. So they got that kind of vibe about them. But, you know, and again, you'd imagine to produce his own boots is probably quite expensive. So whoever's behind him has probably got some money, or he's got some real money, because to produce, you'd imagine, your own boots, your own footwear, trousers, everything is, you know, that's a lot of money that goes into production. So he's definitely probably doing well. But there's something about the brand that I just don't like. Just doesn't sit right with me. And I'm not too sure if I'm the only person that, like, look at this stuff. Like, the brand, like, so where you're from Italy, no? You're from Italy. What's all this bandana stuff going on? What is this? What's happening here? What's all this, like, gang affiliation signal? Like, what is this? I don't know. I just don't get it personally. The show was decent as visual. There were some guys spray painting on the wall as the models were walking by, which kind of added a nice little energy to it and whatever was going on here. This is a somewhat interesting look with this kind of kilt skirt thing over the jeans. I don't really mind that too much as a styling thing, but again, would I wear it? Probably not. There's some decent, all right pieces here and there. I'm sure that NBA players are going to fucking love this. NFL players are going to love this because the shapes he makes, the silhouettes are quite big and wide. And a lot of those players like this sort of stuff. It kind of gives you, it kind of makes you feel a little bit more wham than you actually are. Loads of quilted shit, loads of oversized shit. You know, some of the stuff, color combinations and whatnot. Like, you know, some of the jorts, which I detest, by the way. Make your mind up. Either wear a pair of shorts or wear some trousers. These like over halfway, quarter length sort of like, you know, things are disgusting. I fucking hate them. I really do. I really fucking do. Like, either wear shorts or wear fucking trousers. Like, decide. That in between thing is not for me. But yeah, he's doing bits though. He's doing fucking bits. He's obviously, you know, growing to the point where he's able to do a fashion show, because usually fashion shows are a bit of a money sink. So the fact that he's doing this means that the brand is doing fairly well. There's a lot of money there to be made, or a lot of money has been made that's been able to put this thing into production. But I personally don't like it because it feels like he's almost taking the piss out of us. I don't know if he's taking the piss out of us because this stuff is easily worn by people that look like me, or if this is a homage, and he's kind of tipping his hat to a culture that he's always obsessed with and loved. I don't know. But it's something like, who's this? Is that same girl that's been pregnant for like 17 years? That's like linked to Skepta. Is that her? I feel like I always see like a white girl with like weird colored hair that's with a black dude that's pregnant. I always feel like I've seen that somewhere around. I feel like I've seen this person 7 times in a fashion show, but maybe it's a different person. But yeah, and there's him getting lifted up by his crew at the end. So I don't know. I'm sure some people like this sort of stuff, but for me, it just feels a little bit weird. It feels a little bit weird. It does. I'm going to play some videos here that's taken from the show, courtesy of the PDF Instagram account, which is pdf.channel, which is a crazy Instagram, crazy Instagram username to have in it. pdf.channel, you know. I don't know why I go on for this, but let me click some videos here so you can see what I'm talking about. And maybe I'm just hating. I don't know. United show from Paris.
Let's go. Milan. Laser sulla traiettoria, stanno mirando un tuo G. Solo allestimenti Maybach, GLS o ABT. La mia shoes è PDF, io c'ho ancora il PTSD. Non bastano le graffette per contare tutti sti Siamo il polo, siamo il center, polo sopra le magliette. Controlliamo la pianura, le montagne e le distese. Mo gli zeri sono 7, sai che il mio contratto è in essere. Ti stiamo seguendo il culo, ma non sei la nostra reference. E dopo questi M, sto pensando ad altri M. Sono in alto perché ho il gene, cioppa grandi come Irene. I tuoi amici han preso shot, fra più shossi di un bartender. So che ti sei fatto giallo come la signora Fletcher. Biberon come un poppante, sto mischiando le bevande. E se parli di uno vero, sai chi devi menzionare. Il mio flow è super saiyan, le mie opzioni sono varie. Guidiamo soltanto auto di cui siamo i proprietari. Laser sulla traiettoria, stanno mirando un tuo G. Solo allestimenti Maybach, GLS o ABT. La mia shoes è PDF, io c'ho ancora il PTSD. Non bastano le graffette per contare tutti sti
Io dome, ho nuovo pantalone, scarpe nuove, magliette PDF e religione. Saliamo in ascensore insieme all'hotel Costes. Ti porto io a Parigi, tu porta le top model. Non matchi coi colori, non matchi coi miei homies. Mentre tu segui la moda, pensi di essere come noi. Ricorda la facciamo, troppo stile tra i miei bro. Invece voi sembrate i cloni di Star Wars. Ho la stoffa per spaccare, è tessuto sociale. Infatti cuccio bocche, quando inizio a rappare. Allacciami le scarpe, dopo lasciami un po' in pace. Ti cascano le braghe perché tu non sei capace. Vestito su misura, frate, alta sartoria. Ma non è per la statura che io sfilo per la via Monte Nappo. Ho una figa accanto che quando cammina sul
Don't get me wrong, I think the tune is really good. I like that he used actual Italian hip hop in his soundtrack for his fashion show. That's a pretty nice little nod, right? So obviously a lot of the hip hop iconography and whatever themes and whatever styles have been taken from, you'd imagine, American culture and shit. But I like that he's kind of used actual people who make that sort of music in his own country. It sounds like Italian anyway, and the beat sounded fucking pretty crazy, especially that first tune. Whoever that was fucking spitting. I don't understand a single word he was saying, but he was spitting. But I don't know, man. It's just something about it that seems a bit distasteful. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm projecting because I just don't like people who dress like this way anyway. Maybe that's part of it. But it seems like the people who fuck with it heavy. And he's got like a nice little community behind him of people who are rooting for him. Even at the back, like there's what you call it, Clint from Cortez there. But even the way the models and everybody reacting around him, it kind of reminds me of like the Virgil days and shit. It seems like people around him seem to fuck with him super heavy and shit, which probably says a lot about his character. So that's pretty decent to see. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't rock with the brand too heavy. I'm not too sure why I don't, but it feels a little bit like, there's something about it, man. It just feels a little bit. Look, you've like look at this picture. Like, how do you know I like hip hop? You know, that's what it looks like. How do you know I like hip hop? How did you know? How could you guess I'm a fan of the hippity hop? How did you guess? There's just something a little bit too overt about it. Too overt that I'm not really too big on. But I guess if the fans love it and the people love it and the people in the industry love it too, that probably says a lot about it, I guess, in some regard. So big up him in that respect. Big up him. But it's just not for me. It really isn't for me in the slightest. What is this? PDF and Denise brings you exclusive custom leather jackets. Here's how to order. Each jacket will be one of one, customized by Domenico Formichetti. These are 2 designs options. Both are shown in the photos on the PDF website. You can pick any color that you want. 2 to 4 weeks for delivery. Once purchased, you receive a confirmation. Okay, let's play this. This is pretty cool. I like seeing how this stuff is made. This is pretty cool. How they're gonna, I guess, airbrush this t-shirt, I'm assuming. Airbrush the leather jacket, sorry. It's covered in some sort of, is that resin or is that acrylic? And then he goes over it with an airbrush, rubs in certain places. Oh, that's quite cool. I don't mind that. That's pretty cool, actually. It gets custom painted, different segments. Okay, I don't mind that. Actually, this is stopping too much. Sorry, I gotta, let me refresh this. This is going, the thing is stopping and starting way too often here, but I don't really mind that. That leather jacket thing is pretty decent. And to be fair, for a custom jacket to be ready for delivery within 4 weeks from a somewhat independent brand is a pretty good turnaround. All these independent brands, they take fucking ages to send you shit. So the fact that they're saying they can send you this one-on-one leather jacket in 4 weeks is a pretty decent turnaround. I can't lie. I can't lie. Oh, I keep stopping it. Okay, anything? Cool, you got that? There we go. And then there's some other advertisements here that he's doing as well. What is this for? This is Star Rider. I guess some game. Let's take the music off there. Cool. Some game thing, I guess, going on there. I think this is it, right? The Nissan Super Speed 4 leather jacket, which is pretty cool. I like how they done the advertisement for this, by the way. Having these guys jump on these fucking arcade motorbikes wearing the jacket, the what you call it, the motorbike jacket. Was a pretty cool little twist on that. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, runway show not for me. Runway show not for me. Clothes really not for me. And where it comes from not for me. But hey, I guess other people like it. I guess other people like it. The other thing that I like, and something that I'm gonna die on the hill about, is Central C. I was never the biggest Central C fan. I've got to be honest. I didn't really get it at first when he came out. And like all things, I'm very skeptical. Like similar to what Big Up Josie in the random channel said before. Whenever Josie sees anybody, whenever she sees anybody online or a prominent celebrity and they've lost a bunch of weight, she automatically assumes it's Ozempic. Always Ozempic. And for me, whenever I see somebody burst really quickly, I always assume it's an industry plant. Always. Okay, industry plant thing. I never kind of, can never picture in my head that this person was grinding and doing the bits, uploading online, not getting any plays before I heard of them. And then now they're blowing, I've obviously heard of them. I never think it's organic. I always think something is always kind of, it's always some fugazi shit going on behind the scenes. Now, when it comes to Central C, that might be the case. He may still be an industry plant. We never know. But when it comes to his talent, when it comes to his ability to put together songs, when it comes to his ability to put together albums, as he's proved with his debut album, I have to say, he might be him. Central C might be him. For his ability to avoid loads of public beefs, stay out of trouble, not go to prison during his peak, which is a big deal, because I'm a big fan of Digga D. I think Digga D might be the most talented artist, rapper to come out of the UK since this whole drill thing has gone on. But Digga D has kind of wasted his career because he's been in and out in pen, right? He can't stay out of trouble. He's always kind of in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's kind of fucked up his momentum. Same goes for Lowski. So all these people are just like super talented, but aren't going to get anywhere because they can't just focus on the music. Same goes for KO, right? KO, the recent guy who kind of recently got put in prison because of that recent hit that happened, right? And I played you a freestyle hit as well. So you have to give Central C a lot of credit for keeping his head down and focusing on his craft. And based on this album, based on the different flows, based on the different types of records, based on the content of what he's saying, based on the vibe, the features, the length of the project, I have to say Central C's Can't Rush Greatness is the best debut of any rapper, grime, UK drill, whatever you want to categorize it, since Dizzy Rascal Boy in the Corner. I repeat, Central C's Can't Rush Greatness is the best debut album from any rapper from the UK since Dizzy Rascal's Boy in the Corner. It's phenomenal. Top to bottom, phenomenal. And I wasn't expecting much. I just hoped for a couple of good tunes here and there that I could slap on my playlist for my gym thing. But I listened to the whole thing in the gym and I was tempted so bad. Like, one of my best tests, because when I go to the gym and play albums, usually I just let it play all the way through. I don't ever touch my phone because I want to focus on my workout. I don't want to be on my phone all the time. So I just press play as soon as I'm about to start my workout, even the warm up, leave my phone on the ground. And then, I'm pushing my weights. I was so tempted to wheel up a couple of tunes. So tempted to double check what the fucking song title is. Because sometimes I have my phone in auto lock, so I won't see what the title of the song is. I'll be like, who the fuck is this? This is sick. I love this feature. It slaps from top to bottom, man. The intro, the record with fucking Young Miko, who I think I might have heard first on a Bad Bunny album, if I'm not mistaken, the Spanish rapper. I think so. Again, have no idea what Young Miko is saying on that record, but it sounds like fucking fire. Absolutely crazy. If anything, I think even the singles, they sound a lot better in the album flow, in sequence, than they do as singles. I wasn't really the biggest fan of GBP with Central C. With 21 Savage. I didn't like it at all personally. I thought the video was pretty decent, but I didn't really like the song. I thought the song was a bit meh, personally for me. And the chorus a bit repetitive. But the song hits a lot better when you listen to it in sequence of the album. My favorite song on there, and definitely it's going to be my song of the day, is Top Freestyle. I think Top Freestyle, the contents of it speaks to me entirely. He absolutely destroyed that song. He was skating all over it, honestly. Skated all over it. Top Freestyle is definitely my favorite song there. CRG with Dave is really stellar as well. Maybe not Dave's best feature in the world, but still stellar. The song with Lil Durk, Truth in the Lies, banging. The other song I actually like, that's going to be a little bit cringy for some people, Gen Z Love. I fucking love Gen Z Love. I'm not going to lie. I think Gen Z Love is an absolute slapper. I think the kids are going to love that one. That is a tune and a half. Like, he's actually made he's made a ladies tune without it sounding too soppy. There's actually a song on here too where he sings. Yeah, that's a Lil Durk one. Because I've never heard them, Central C do the whole singing thing. The song with Lil Durk where he's singing, like, he sounds kind of decent. I'm not going to lie. Sounds kind of decent. Not a Young Ads or anything, but still decent enough. The Lil Baby song, again, one of Lil Baby's best features. Actually, no, one of Lil Baby's best features is a song that didn't release. It's a song that he did with Fuzi Tube. If you would kind of try to entertain that, he did a song with Fuzi that didn't get released in the end, but it might be his best verse he's done in a long fucking time, which is crazy because the albums are a bit, meaty, but the features that Lil Baby's been putting out have been pretty decent still. So I like Band for Band with Central C. Obviously, while I'm going with that lyrics. You've seen fucking Cucurella out there spitting the fucking Band for Band lyrics at Central C after the Chelsea game. So that song is doing bits now. And then what else I do like? Don't Know Anymore, Must Be, all decent as well. And obviously the song with Skepta, 10,000 Hours, but it's called 10. That also speaks to me. Those are some of my favorite tracks on there. The Young Miko track, track number 3. I'm gonna say Truth in the Lies with Central C, with Lil Durk. I also love 10, Gen Z Love, and Top Freestyle. But what a great album. 17 tracks. It comes in at about 49 minutes. It doesn't even feel like 17. And it flows really well. And he doesn't sound boring. He doesn't sound the same. He doesn't sound like he's like repeating himself. And the message as well is pretty decent. The message as well live is pretty decent. I love the video, Limitless, by the way. I love that Limitless is becoming this thing in the hood, especially. It's becoming like its own kind of cult movie classic, which I've always loved. I've always loved Limitless Big up Bradley Cooper. I think that movie Limitless, like whenever I was low on inspiration, low on motivation, like I would legitimately back in the day when I was fucking listening to Tony Robbins and all those type of guys, when I'd be watching fucking Gary Vee channels, I'd be watching fucking Limitless on loop to get me motivated to kind of do shit. Because yes, Limitless is about this guy that takes this drug called NZT that unlocks this other percentage of your brain that you don't fucking use as dormant. But the message you take away from Limitless is the fact that there's so much more that you can accomplish. You don't know that you have no idea the ends of your ability, the ends of what you could achieve if you actually push yourself, you actually dedicate and concentrate and kind of knuckle down and put your head down and focus, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of the message to take away from it. And obviously it also shows how isolating fame, success, and getting what you really want can be. Because Bradley Cooper starts off being a bit of a loser, who everyone doesn't really believe in. Then he suddenly becomes this winner. He becomes more attractive. He becomes more employable. He's getting all these awards. But the fame and the success and the intellect and whatever, the IQ, it starts to isolate him from everybody around him because he's just too smart for everybody else's own good. You know, he starts to like, starts to like the smell of his own farts. But I think that movie is fucking great, and it's good to see that others in the hood especially agree with that regard. So I really fucking love Can't Rush Greatness. I love the videos. I also love the videos of Limitless where he's like, because I think I read in the interview, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, which is pretty evident, to be fair, because of how he sounds, because of how consistent he is, because of how like on his business he seems to be. Because on the record he mentioned sometimes where he said that, oh, I'm up like 25 mil, which is a lot considering how short he's been in the game. But it makes sense because he's taken advantage of every opportunity, because he's not been in pen, he's not had to sit down for any length of time. He's been able to capitalize on every bit of momentum and kind of go, doing the America thing, the Drake cosign, Skepta shit, fashion shows, his own collections, Nike stuff, Core T stuff. He hasn't missed out on any opportunity. So he's been able to just stack up cash like quickly, which has been pretty sick to watch. So I do like the fact that he's kind of a bit different from the other kind of, you guess, UK drill artists, in that he's a little bit more, even though he's not clean cut, he's more presentable in that regard because of how he kind of carries himself. The no drinking, no smoking thing is really refreshing. I like that he's got, I think he mentioned in an interview somewhere that he's bought a house. I think that's part of the theme of the record, which I pretty like, to be fair. A lot of these rappers are talking about buying houses and having no neighbors. That's the flex. Not buying, because I think in the content world, in the UK it's different. I'm not sure if it's the same in the US, but in the UK world, a lot of content creators, a lot of influencers want to own apartments in like Greenwich and stuff, like want to own apartments in like these private, I forgot what the buildings are called, but there's buildings in London. I think there's a flat somewhere in South London where there's these flats that are like private and they're really expensive, and basically people live there because they've got loads of amenities. They have like home theaters and restaurants, all this sort of bougie shit. So a lot of influencers like to live in those type of places because of the location, the postcode, maybe the rooms are a certain way, you got the view looking out to the River Thames and shit. But I guess these rappers, I think Dave mentioned it, and Central C, they are more on the wave of like living in a house with no neighbors. So basically on your own estate with like farmland around it. So it's pretty cool to see him actually at the location, because it looks like that's one of the houses featured in the video when they're driving the range and shit. And he's working out, which is pretty sick as well to see. Everyone's doing calisthenics, which is a big thing, but I've noticed too, especially in the gym that I go to, the pure gym that I go to, all the kids that look like they're under 25, they are bang on the calisthenics. They rarely come over to the weights. Everybody's at the calisthenics. If anything, the most they're doing is like the pulley. Is it pulleys or the ropes things, right? That's the most thing that they're using. But most of them are doing pull-ups. They're bang on the pull-ups, bang on bodyweight shit. Like all the kids are doing that, which kind of probably makes sense if you want to look ripped in a Nike Tech fleece. You probably don't want to be doing what I'm doing and doing overhead presses and big squats. You probably just want to make sure that you kind of, tone up what you already have. So it's pretty cool to see that in that video. And yeah, in general, just to kind of see him around his kind of crew and shit was quite cool in that video itself. But I really recommend you check it out. If you're not a fan of Central C, I think this will make you more of a fan. If you know what he's about, you're going to like it anyway. Even the cover is hard as fuck, personally. I think the cover is probably one of the best covers I've seen in a fucking long time. It's the kind of cover you'd want to have in vinyl, right? With his fucking hands up with the Can't Rush Greatness as a jewelry. That amazing fucking Queen Elizabeth piece he has is absolutely fucking splendid. I love everything about it. Really recommend you check it out. Really amazing album. Like I said, I think it's the best debut project I've heard from a UK rapper artist since Dizzy Rascal's Boy in the Corner. He mentions that it's not too easy to do that because everybody's dead, but I think there was somewhat a lot of pressure on him for this album. I don't think there's much pressure as some people like me, the music people me being a music blogger was trying to make out to be, but there was a lot of pressure in terms of like living up to that hype. And I think he delivered. He delivered, he exceeded it, in my personal opinion. I think fucking killed it. So big up Central C. Love the album. Can't Rush Greatness. Available now on all digital streaming platforms. Don't delay. Don't delay. Next, I'm going to talk about Silo Season 2 finale. Happened a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure some of you already know about this. But for my sci-fi heads, if you're a sci-fi head, please watch Silo. Please watch Silo. And please go into it without any knowledge of the book. That's what I did. For once, I didn't check theories online. I didn't check too many explain videos. I didn't read the book itself. I just watched the series. And now, after the season 2 is finished, I've kind of read more material, but I'm glad I did watch the series plain, without any background information. And oh my God, that season 2 finale, very rarely have TV shows landed a finale, landed a conclusion, and they landed it perfectly. This sets up season 3 so well. We'll probably have to wait 3 years for season 3, but the way season 2 ended of Silo, it was fucking perfect. It felt like all of the, sometimes even some of the filler episodes, but all the fucking questions were somewhat answered on the last episode, with still more questions added until the end for the next season. So I'm not even gonna say anything about it. I'm just gonna say it's fucking amazing. I want you to watch it if you've not watched it already. It's fucking brilliant. Love the fucking series. Love all the actors. Love the cast. Love the story. Love the pace. Love the flipping Easter eggs. Love the reveals. Love the non-reveals. Love everything. The misdirects. I fucking love it. Silo season 2 finale was banging. Please check it out if you haven't already. It's absolutely a great watch. Another thing that's a great watch is this drama between Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips. Yes, you heard that right. The two girls that are breaking the internet with their OnlyFans content, where they go around the world, or mostly around England, trying to break the record of how many men they can fuck in one day. And they record that content for OnlyFans. And, people are being outraged by this content, even though people are very pro sex work on social media. When they're confronted with the realities of sex work, they seem to get very uncomfortable behind it. Some of it may have to do with the fact that a lot of the guys that they are aiming this sort of content at are kind of young, but as long as they're overage, it really doesn't concern me. As long as they're all, as all consenting adults, I really don't give a fuck. And I just love to see people squirm over the different kind of scales and levels of like sex work that exists out there. But this whole story really tickles my fancy and gets me excited, and is one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen online. And it makes me more happy than you'd ever know, because I knew this was going to happen. I spoke about this on the pod before. I had a feeling these girls are going to fall out because they're not built the same. If you've been paying attention to what's been going on between these ladies, you will know that one lady, Bonnie Blue, is a true whore. She's a true whore to her core. She probably could likely share some stories with you of when she was younger that would probably blow your mind. She's a true whore, whore. She probably has a lot of legend about her in school back in the day, in college, at workplaces. She's been doing what she's been doing even without a camera from day one. Lily Phillips is a girl that just, saw an opportunity to make some money and is making some money, but her heart's not really in it. So even though Lily Phillips was the one that said that she went to do this 1,000 guy thing, I never believed her, because I could see she didn't have that look in her eye. Bonnie Blue had that whore, that turbo slut look in her eye of like, this is my life. This is in me, not on me. You know what I mean? This is in me, not on me. I am a slag by choice. I fucking love it. This is my passion. Bloody blah, blah, blah. Whatever you may think of, that's what you think of that. But one of them is true to the life. One of them is just doing it for the money. And the one that's true to the life would probably do 1,000 men back to back every day if she could. Probably happy. And I was glad I said that theory, because when that video clip came out of Lily Phillips talking to that guy on the interview about her experience fucking 100 guys in one day, she looked broken. If you remember that video, that clip of her talking to that guy, she looked broken. She even cried a bit. Not because of the sex. I think she cried more to do with like, she didn't feel like she gave all the guys attention. But she looked broken over 100 guys. But she went to fuck 1,000. That's when also I knew, it confirmed to me, yeah, this girl's heart's not in it. She's not really about this life. And I think Bonnie Blue probably saw the same thing that I saw, and she pounced. she flipping pounced and took advantage and decided to do the challenge herself. And now they've fallen out. And I love this, by the way. This is courtesy of the Daily Mail. Exclusive. Bonnie Blue slams jealous Lily Phillips and claims former friend stole her idea to bed 1,000 men. They're having plagiarism wars. I always thought it was dumb when designers will be online saying, "Oh, this person stole my idea for a t-shirt." It's like, bro, you stole the design for a t-shirt. You stole the design for a bomber jacket. Everything is stolen in fashion. Like, just make a better thing. If anything, it's a good. It should flatter you that a big designer is stealing something from your level, right? It should kind of give you that confirmation that you're doing bits, that you're that person. But people have to complain, and I think that's hilarious. Imagine how hilarious it is to argue over stuff like this. Oh, she stole my idea of how many guys you can fuck in a day challenge. I fucking love this world we live in. I love it. I absolutely love it. Bonnie Blue has come out swinging against fellow OnlyFans creator and star Lily Phillips, claiming that Lily stole her idea to sleep with 1,000 men in a single day. Lily, 23, by the way, as well, I've heard online, vis-a-vis some people on Twitter, that the ages of these girls are very suspect. Everybody is suggesting that Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are a lot older than what they say they are. That's what people are saying. Allegedly, this is like a thing that happens in porn. I don't know this to be true because, you know, I'm just a regular guy. I just jack off to porn and keep it moving. I don't kind of Google the people's names, or I'm not on porn industry Reddits. But allegedly, this is a very common practice in the adult industry to lie about your age. So people are suggesting that Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips aren't their age they say they are. Lily says she's 23. Bonnie says she's 25. But people dispute that because they think they look a bit older, which who knows. However, Bonnie, 25, beat Lily to the punch this month after she had sex with an eye-watering 1,057 fellas in 12 hours. And she didn't look like she broke a sweat. That's the weirdest thing about it. If you've seen the video of her post-smashing 1,057 guys on Twitter that went viral, she didn't look like she broke a sweat. Let's be honest. She didn't look like she broke a sweat. So if you're Lily Phillips, you could tell one of you is a whore. One of you is just a whore by, you know, happenstance, opportunity. But you're not really about that life. It continues. Now Bonnie told Daily Mail that Lily stabbed her in the back by stealing the idea from her after she became friends last year. According to Bonnie, the betrayal happened last year after she invited injuring Lily to join her at the Freshers' Week in UK to sleep with a dozen of her first-year students. Way before Lily even put it out there on her socials that she'd like to do a sex work record, and when I helped her out and invited her to my Freshers content, I shared her idea with her, saying that I really wanted to do this world record, Bonnie explained. And I guess I'm very trustworthy and oblivious person to people's bitterness, so I shared my idea that I'd like to do it with her. Then it wasn't until November, 3 months later, she had announced on social media that she was going to do the world record. Rivalry suggests competition, and I don't have. In terms of the world record, both me and Lily know it's my idea, as I've spoken to her about it. They're at war. The whores are at war. Love to see it. Let's go. There she is, right? There's Lily. There's Bonnie. There's Lily. 1,000. Proud. Bonnie even said that she introduced Lily to the media contacts and tried to help her make a name for herself in the adult industry off the back of her viral content, only to be betrayed by Lily, who turned out to be a copycat. I helped Lily with publicity. I don't feel like people in the industry need to be jealous. There's multiple subscribers and plenty of space for everybody. Bonnie also took a swipe at Lily's porn prowess by bringing up the now viral video of her crying after sleeping with 100 men. Seeing someone cry after the content is not nice, and not everyone's cut out for their circumstances, so I really wish her all the best. I wish her the best. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. I'm not saying this is for everybody, nor is it for everyone. Not enough to do that when I'm not saying this is for everybody, nor is everyone hot enough to even do what I do, but it's something that I thoroughly enjoy and I'm going to continue. Bonnie, let's chill. Don't think you're getting these numbers because you're hot or because you're conventionally attractive. Let's relax. I think even a fat girl could rack up 1,000 guys in one day. It's not that difficult, man. Guys are hungry. Guys are thirsty. Guys just want to get their pee-pee a little bit moist. They're not, yeah, I mean, especially with the type of content. Like, let's not, I'm sure it helps that she looks the way that she looks, but let's not think it's a oh, because I'm way more attractive, this is why it's happening. Let's relax with that one. In a bid to beat Lily, Bonnie decided to move her group sex stunt forward to ensure that she'd be the first one to undertake the jaw-dropping task. Jaw-dropping task, no pun intended. On January 11th, the Northamptonshire native proudly announced that she had slept with 1,057 men. Lily has since responded with plans to even more extreme stunt, announcing last week that she's going to do a backdoor challenge with as many guys possible. Backdoor, I'm assuming, is anal, right? Probably. Fucking hell. This 24-year-old also shocked the internet after filming herself parading down the street while covered in male bodily fluids. When Lily and Bonnie have managed to avoid each other ever since the bitter feud, the only two OnlyFans creators will come face to face on January 25th at the AVN Awards in Las Vegas. Well, this is the update. This is the update. Bonnie Blue's bitter feud with Lily Phillips escalates as she cancels interviews amid sex stunt rivalry. So they're avoiding each other. They're cancelling interviews. They're not going to the AVNs together. One person cancelled. Bonnie cancelled multiple podcast appearances in LA, courtesy of Adam 22, because we had Lily on first. Who knew gangbanging politics was so serious? What a weird world we're living in right now. What a weird world. But I'm glad, my theory, and I'm vindicated that these girls were going to fall out and that they weren't friends. Because, you know how girls are in general. Especially pretty girls, they never seem to get along for a long time. And I just had a feeling, ever since I saw that video with Lily Phillips, I was like, oh, Lily Phillips isn't really about this life, but Bonnie Blue seems to really enjoy what she does. She seems to have found her passion, her calling, her vocation. And I knew something was gonna give, and now it's given. Here we are. Here we bloody are. Here we bloody are. Talking about here we bloody are, Oscars nominations for 2025 also were released. And there's some interesting nominations here that I wanted to read out to you lovely people. Number one nomination that I want to talk about is Anora. Anora has been nominated for Best Picture along with The Brutalist, The Complete Unknown, which is the, movie with Timothée Chalamet, Concave, Doom Part 2, which I would vote for, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Now, everyone keeps saying The Brutalist is amazing. I haven't seen it though because it's a limited release or something. But hopefully I'll get to watch it soon when it comes out on the legal streaming sites. But the movie that I want to talk about is Anora. This might be one of the most overhyped movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's fucking dog shit. Don't care what anybody says. It's dog shit. It's awful. There's episodes of Euphoria that are better than Anora. That movie that was based on that girl that was a sex worker on Twitter that went viral, whatever her name was, that movie was fucking better. Anora is fucking pants. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone overhyped this fucking movie. They even overhyped the club scenes. The club scenes are gash. The story's fucking annoying. All the characters are fucking unbearable. You don't want to root for anybody. The violence is whatever. The screaming and shouting is ear splitting and ear bleeding. I hate the movie from the top to the bottom, to the start to the end. I hate it. One of the worst things about the movie, and somebody mentioned this afterwards to me, was that allegedly towards the end, that's meant to be the best part. Everyone's raving about the ending of Anora. And if you've watched the movie, you know the ending of Anora it's the opposite of the start. It's very quiet. I think there's no words exchanged even. And it's very sad. It's a kind of poignant moment. But I'm going to be honest, like, if a movie has to get to the end for you to think, oh yeah, now it's good, it's not a good movie. Surely it should start off pretty decently and continue on until the end. If anything, having a crescendo where it's like, oh my God, this movie is amazing. And you're kind of busting in your flipping pants. But it shouldn't be like, oh yeah, because there's this really poignant moment at the end, now it's somewhat, oh yeah, now it means something. Now it's saying this, now it's saying that. Nah, man, the movie's shit. The movie's fucking shit. And I was annoyed by it because everyone kept talking about it, especially within my kind of like, area of interest. It seemed like all the cool people were talking about it and making it seem like it was one of the best movies that ever fucking dropped. And it's fucking dog shit. I hate everything about it. Even worse, one of the actors, I think the guy that plays one of the muscle in the whatever that's meant to, the guy at the end basically with her in a car, he got nominated for an award, acting. And he barely says any words in the movie. Like the payola and the fucking Fugazi of film award things is fucking annoying. He barely talks in the movie. And that guy in Anora, the bald dude, the one that's like one of the muscle, one of the goons, who kind of falls in love with her towards the end, he gets nominated for an award. How? How, Sway? How? So I hate Anora. I think Anora is fucking garbage. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and I was rushing for it to finish. So much so I was pressing fast forward on my VLC player. Fucking hated it. 0 out of 10. Continuing on. Best actor, they've got Adrian Brody for Brutalist. I haven't watched that. Timothée Chalamet for Complete Unknown. People have said it's really good, by the way. People have said this movie's actually really good. That Timothée Chalamet actually kills it. So I'd like to watch it. Common Domingo for Sing Sing. He was always going to get nominated, even if he didn't do anything. To be fair, he's had a really good year. He's got a lot of good media out there. Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. I haven't watched that. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, which is the Donald Trump movie, which I've also heard is really good. I haven't checked that out yet. Who else we got? We got Demi Moore, The Substance. Mickey Madison for Anora. Who's Mickey Madison? Is that the person, the bald guy? No, that's a girl, which is crazy, by the way. She's pretty like the screeching and shit. No, thank you. She's in it, so good. Well done for her, I guess. Then we've got Best Actress. We've got Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, which people have said is also good, but I haven't seen that. You got Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, who I think might be the trans actor, right? So it's a pretty decent. This is a big deal. So big up this actress in Emilia Perez, who's been awarded. I'm sure this might be the first time. Maybe someone trans has kind of been nominated for an Oscar. So that's pretty decent. Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here. Best Supporting Actor, you've got Yura Borisov for Anora, which is crazy. He's not even a supporting actor. He's almost like I don't know. This is wild that he got, anyway, whatever. You got Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Best Supporting Actress, you got Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for The Wicked. Imagine if what's her name? If Cynthia Erivo wins Best Actress and Ariana Grande wins Best Supporting Actress for Wicked. The tears, the fucking soliloquies, the fucking the TED Talks we'll be subjected to if they win it each. Woo! On the Oscars, it'd be crazy, man. If you hate them now, you're gonna hate them more. If they win that award, they're gonna be unbearable. If they both go home with an Oscar, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, woohoo! And another one, who else we got here? Oh, we got Best Supporting Actress. Big up Zoe Saldana. I'm a big fan of hers. Love her in fucking Lioness. Also loved her in Westworld. I think she's an amazing actress. Doesn't get the praise that she deserves. So great to see her getting nominated for that award. If she wins this, she's going to be in a flood of tears as well. She's extra dramatic, so that's going to be good to see. Best Director, you got Sean Baker for Anora, Bradley Colbert for Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audrade for Emily in Paris, and Coralie Farget in Substance. And then the rest of them I don't really give a fuck about, really, to be completely honest. So I'm interested to see who does win some of the big awards here going forward in the Oscars. For the most part, most of the movies have been a little bit meh, to be honest. I would love if Dune Part 2 actually won an award, but maybe they think Dune's got too many awards already. I'm not too sure, but I'm interested to see who does end up winning the big awards here. Those are the Oscar nominations for 2025. Talking about 2025, we have to big up Donald Trump for, coming through on his promise. Donald Trump pardons founder of Silk Road drug site. Free Ross Ulbricht. He's finally free. Great to see. Courtesy of the Financial Times, Donald Trump has pardoned Ross Ulbricht, who was sentenced to life in prison in 2015 for masterminding an online marketplace for illegal drugs and hacking services. The scum that worked to convict him, says Donald Trump, were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponization of government against me. Donald Trump wrote on Truth Social. During Ulbricht's trial, U.S. prosecutors said that he had built an anonymous marketplace known as Silk Road to exploit anonymity on the dark web and digital currency Bitcoin. At the time, the case attracted attention of Bitcoin evangelists and libertarian groups who claimed the government was trying to turn the web hosting into a criminal activity. Announcing the pardon, Trump said that he was an honor for the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly. Trump had pledged to pardon Ulbricht, who was arrested in 2013 at a Libertarian Political Party National Convention last May. And he followed through on it. Big up him. I was a big fan of Pirate Bay. I think I used Pirate Bay a couple of times when it was around. I was more of an Alpha Bay, Evolution type of guy when Darknet Markets were the thing. Unfortunately, not the thing anymore, but I did love how Darknet Markets essentially kind of ushered in this new dawn of like drug safety, it felt like. Because of the review systems that's set up on there, it kind of incentivized the sellers to not cut their stuff with horrible shit and sell good shit, because the better results, the better reviews you got, the more people were prone to buy your stuff. So it was on the seller, it was on the vendors to be on it and be selling better things and not having their shit be bunk or cut with horrible shit. So the darknet markets, I think, revolutionized drug safety in that respect, and also probably helped people to refine their taste, if that makes any sense, when it comes to Class A substances, and know what's good and know what's bad. And in the early days of darknet markets, some of the forums attached to them were fucking brilliant resource to find like new sellers, to see sometimes what do you call it, what would they call them? I think they called them like high reports or something. People would buy some drug and they'd write their experience. They'd write like a little diary. Okay, first dose, ingested this at this time. Then they'll write an update an hour later, like add pictures. That was fucking brilliant. Some of the stories were fucking hilarious, especially guys like who went out and got like, you know, and got a little bit leery in the streets and did some other, you know, maybe non-forgivable things. But it was a really good resource to have out there. Obviously, when Pirate Bay got taken down, I think it scared everybody. I think Ross Ulbricht too had to take a lot of responsibility for this, because his op spec was horrible with Pirate Bay. His op spec was horrible. I think he had his real name linked to his profile on the site, email. He was accessing the account through a library around the corner from his house when he got arrested. He didn't shut down the computer when he got arrested. They were able to access his account and the back door of Silk Road. Silk Road. And they were able to kind of get into his Bitcoin account. At the time, I think he had like 14 million, I think, Bitcoin. If he had it now, no. So I think he had 22 million Bitcoin worth. If that Bitcoin, he still had it now, it would be worth like 14 billion. I read somewhere. It would be worth 14 billion, that same Bitcoin I got take away from him. There are some people that are suggesting that there's like this dormant Bitcoin wallet that went live, or someone tried to access it recently. It's been dormant since the time that he kind of got arrested, that had a bit of money in it as well. So people are saying that he probably has some Bitcoin stashed somewhere, which he's deserving of, because he revolutionized the darknet markets and that whole industry as well at the time. So, you know, if he does have some there, he's able to kind of keep it out of the line of fucking law enforcement, and more power to him. But it was really great to see Donald Trump follow through on his promise and free this guy, because the 2 life sentences that he got, the life sentence that he got was fucking crazy. A life sentence that maybe he should have got some time in prison, because there was that story, which he didn't get convicted for actually, which was weird, where he tried to allegedly off one of his co-founders. It was fucking hilarious. Like, I read the book about it. I listened to the podcast. I was there when it was happening. This whole thing was playing out. I was, you know, a part of the fucking community and posting in certain places. But man, allegedly he tried to hire a hitman to kind of kill. Allegedly, he didn't get convicted for that in the end. But he was moving a bit mad, and I think the Times sat down since 2013. That's probably matured him. He's gonna come out a much better man, and cryptocurrency and all that sort of stuff is in a whole different place now. He's definitely gonna be one of the forerunners in it. He's like, eventually when he gets on Rogan, it's gonna be fucking crazy. He's probably gonna go to all the big Bitcoin cryptocurrency conferences. Like, he's gonna be a big, you know what I mean? He's done. He's okay. He's gonna be perfectly fine, and he deserves it, because he's a fucking pioneer. I'm really, really happy for him. So good to see Ross Ulbricht is out. And he did a post on Twitter actually recently with a picture that says freedom here, as he's leaving jail in his grey sweatsuit and his little plant that he was probably nursing while he was in there. Looking really happy, clean shaven, and absolutely over the moon that he's out and free. So really happy for Ross Ulbricht. And he obviously also released a video thanking Donald Trump for freeing him, which I'm going to play here as well. Big up Ross Ulbricht. Great to see him out. Great to see him out. Let's play the video of him thanking President Donald Trump. One moment as I get it to load.
Last night, Donald Trump granted me a full pardon. I was doing life without parole, and I was locked up for more than 11 years.
Wow.
But he let me out.
You know, it's that long, man.
I'm a free man now.
Congratulations.
So let it be known that Donald Trump is a man of his word. Thank you so much, President Trump, for giving me this amazing blessing. I am so, so grateful to have my life back, to have my future back, to have this second chance. This is such an important moment for me and for my whole family. It's an important moment for everybody who's been working for this for years. This is a victory, and it's your victory too. And this is an important moment for everybody, everywhere, who loves freedom and who cares about second chances.
It's so emotional. Bless
So
him.
it's
Bless him, man. Bless him. 11 years.
Feels amazing.
11 years.
To say the least.
Exactly.
It's overwhelming, and for the next however long we need, I'm going to be with my family.
Amazing.
So that we can reunite and be whole again and heal. But there's a lot to talk about, and I look forward to re-engaging with the free world. And so once I'm feeling up to it, we'll talk again.
That's something that's something I never thought about until he mentioned it. How hard it is to adjust once you're out. You don't immediately want to go and share your story and get in front of the camera and start talking. You've been 11 years locked up. I think for a lot of it, he was in solitary confinement as well. I remember his conditions were horrible. I remember when he first got in, he was very gaunt. I think he might have went on a fucking protest and wasn't eating or something. He was getting treated pretty poorly in the prison. Like he was going through it, man. He was fucking going through it. So I'm glad to see that he's out and looking good. Big up Chris Mack on the stream chat as well. Pirate Bay is a torrent site, AZ. The Darknet Market was called Silk Road. Yeah, sorry, I got mistaken. I meant the one that I used was called Alpha Bay. There was a Darknet Market back in the day that I used called Alpha Bay before actually Evolution. I think Evolution came after Alpha Bay, but I used to use Alpha Bay a lot. Alpha Bay was the one. If you know about Darknet Markets, you know about Alpha Bay. Alpha Bay was the fucking one, bro. Some of the stuff that I got on there, like subway codes, flights and stuff, like, yo, I was going crazy. Like that back in the day, there was like this Amazon refund thing that used to get on there, like loads of mad services. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Alpha Bay back in the day, Alpha Bay and Evolution, Darknet Markets, fucking astonishing. What's the other one? I think the other one was called Anora. Was it Anora or Anora? One of those kind of names I used to go in back in the day as well. Like some good shit, man. Some good shit, bro. Amazon refunds. There was like this thing for a shop where you got this loyalty points where you can exchange for fucking shopping credit and shit. Yo, I got some stuff on there. I got some stuff. Let's just say that. So big up the people in the Darknets. Now Darknets don't really exist anymore. Darknet Markets have kind of died. They're not really as prominent anymore. People now go directly, I think, to kind of like sellers and vendors, mostly on like places like Telegram and shit. I'm sure there's some Darknet Markets that still exist, but I don't really see people talking about Darknet Markets too much. And there's also this blog too. I forgot the blog's name, but there was a blog that someone used to write. I forgot the blog's name, but there was a blog that used to like do updates on Darknets and like do updates on sellers that got arrested. I remember, and a lot of UK sellers were going down at the time that fucking big bust happened with EncroChat, and they'd be posting updates about, oh yeah, this prominent seller on this Darknet Market got arrested recently. I forgot the website, what it was called. It was like a blog update thing. It was a pretty sick one I used to check back in the day. But yeah, I was on tour from the jump. I was on tour super early. I was on all these fucking places super early, Silk Road super early. And yeah, man, like it's good to see him free, to be honest. Like decentralized places, people can buy and sell whatever they want. And just allow humans and adults to be fucking adults, man. All this babying of people when it comes to illicit drugs is fucking annoying as well. Like people that want to do it are going to do it anyway. So you might as well allow them a space where it's somewhat safe and they can get the actual real thing. Because one of the things, especially in the UK, especially in London, the quality of stuff on the road is horrendous. People are rolling the dice. So I think the Darknet Markets were, I wouldn't surprise me if there was an outsized amount of people in the UK who were using Darknet Markets, because the quality of stuff on the streets was so bad. Drug dealers were taking the piss with people because there was no other place to go. So as soon as Darknet Markets came about and people were able to buy stuff directly from, like, just regular people, because a lot of the people that got arrested sometimes who were big sellers on those Darknet Markets, when you saw their pictures, they were just regular people. They weren't goons. Most of them were white as well, which is really surprising, but most of them were white. They weren't even black kids. So it's like regular adults who just kind of had like a little side hustle. But obviously some of them got caught due to poor op spec, due to being a bit greedy and trying to import way too much stuff and stuff that kind of got flagged. And obviously EncroChat kind of killed a lot of those guys as well. But Darknet Markets were so sick. I love the community around them way better than I do the Telegram sort of stuff. It's a little bit scammy and shit. But once Silk Road went down, and I think another prominent one also did that thing where I wouldn't call it a rug pull, but it happened a lot with Darknet Markets where somebody would where the owner of the market will just one day decide to scam everybody. I'm not sure what it was called. It was a term. There's a term for it, where whoever owned the site would just like scam everybody. And what they'll do is, because in the darknet markets, your money would go in what's that thing where it holds? I forgot the term for it. But if you bought something on a darknet market, it would kind of be stored in the fucking site, and then when you marked it as delivered, the money would be released. The Bitcoin would get released to the vendor. So some owners of darknet markets will just one day wake up and think, okay, there's a good amount of money here that's in fucking whatever that term is. I forgot the term is, where the money is like in the middle before it comes to the vendor, and it'll just fucking delete the site and just pull the money out and send it to their fucking wallet. Crazy. It happens so often. And then I think vendors got scared of that, obviously, because they're losing a bunch of money. So they just stopped selling on there, and they started selling directly, having their own sites. I remember a couple of vendors having their own sites on Tor that you could access to actually buy stuff, like their own actual sites that you could use and shit. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, the death of darknet markets definitely was spearheaded, I guess, by the takedown of Silk Road. But Ross Ulbricht is a fucking pioneer, a legend, and I'm glad to see he's free. I'm glad to see he is free. Big up Ross Ulbricht. Big up Ross Bloodclot. Ross Ulbricht. Moving on. We also got a picture here courtesy of him actually with his family. And then last post here, it says, thanks to Donald Trump pardon, Ross got to hug his wife, mum, dad, sister outside the walls of prison. The past 36 years have been a complete whirlwind, and we keep pinching ourselves to make sure we're not dreaming. So much gratitude, love, and hope for what's to come. Thank you for all the messages. We can't reply to everybody, but no, it means so much to us. So beautiful, man. So beautiful. Look at that. Hugging everybody's like, oh, that must have been awesome. What a good feeling, man. He had life in prison, you know, and he got pardoned after 11 years. Oh, it must feel fucking beautiful. He's still got his life ahead of him. They've obviously taken a lot of his life, but 11 years is no joke. But Jesus, man, life in prison, you know. Honestly, some PDFs, some murderers don't get fucking life. And this guy that ran a fucking decentralized, online store basically, where you could sell and buy and sell anything, got put in prison for life. Maybe even 10 years would have been appropriate, but life. Come on, man. Big up Chris Mack. Yeah, exit scam. That's the one. Yeah, it's called exit scam. Yeah, exit scam was one of the things that also brought it down. Obviously, Silk Road going down scared a lot of people, but the exit scamming was big around the Alpha Bay evolution times when I was using a lot of darknet markets. People were getting very scared of I think even I got stung once. I bought something and never come because the site went on the exit scam and everybody kind of lost their money. So that was really annoying. And I think some websites then decided not to put I think is it Encro? I think it might be Encro. Is it Encro? Or Encro, not Encro chat. I don't know what the word is. But there's a word where the money is kind of in middle. But I think some sellers would then only sell on certain sites that didn't have that feature, where if you sent the money, it went directly to them. But obviously that increased your, maybe hesitancy on buyers' ends because there wasn't the ability to kind of hold the stuff there. But yeah, regardless, big up Ross Ulbricht. Happy he's out. I'm so happy he's out. Continuing on. What's the deal with Job Jobse? I think he's pronounced Hobsy. I think so. I remember seeing it on a Dre Molan video, but I'm gonna say Job Jobse, even though I think it's pronounced Hobsy. But if Job Jobse, I'm a big fan of his. I've been a big fan of his. I think since when? Maybe since I saw maybe a couple of sets of him at Deckmantle, maybe Boiler Room times. I think so. Maybe around the same time I got into like Young Marco and those type of dudes. So I like his style of music. Kind of, if you listen to Young Marco, it's kind of like housey, party sort of vibes. So not really a lot of dark techno things. But I recently checked a Boiler Room that he did recently, and this music really disturbed me because it's kind of cringe, kind of cheesy, kind of annoying. And also very, very trendy. A lot of people now, DJs specifically, are playing this type of music because it's kind of in trend, and all the TikTok people that like to dance in a particular sort of way and stomp to left to right and wear silly clothes and shit and look like, they're fucking trying to be an extra in a Matrix movie and shit and make their whole personality techno music. They love to dance to this sort of music. So when I heard this, it really broke my heart because I've been a big fan of Job Jobse from, again, a time since I've seen him on Deckmantle, and he wasn't playing this sort of stuff. So I'm wondering if this is like a pivot into him playing this sort of stuff to get more gigs, or does he actually like this music? Because it's fucking garbage to me. It's absolutely fucking garbage. Let's play the clip. this cheesy Euro dance, whatever. I'm sure there's I've got a genre name, but I fucking hate it, man. I hate it so much. This fucking PS5, oh no, this Pro Evolution Soccer menu option music. No thank you, man. No fucking thank you. I'd rather listen to Tech House, I swear to God. Give me Tech House over this any time of day. I'd rather listen to fucking Tech House. This is so awful, so bad. People seem to like it though. Just wait for the drop. Watch people go fucking crazy, which makes me even more angry. There we go. Look at that. Disgusting. Yeah. Not for me. Hate it. The dancing is amazing though. Big up the dancers. Actually having fun in the booth. Not just standing there taking pictures. But I hate the fucking music. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Hate this genre. He seems to be enjoying himself, but I fucking detest it. Nah, man. Nah, David Smith, I hate it. Big up Chris Mack. Big up, sorry. David, God's favorite son. Oh, God's favorite, sorry. Big up you. It's Esco, yeah. Big up Esco. David Smith, I fucking hate it. I'm sorry. Play new stuff. Let's make a new legend. This constant harking back to old times is pissing me off as well. I hate nostalgia. Imagine nostalgia. The theme of the podcast. Let's create our own legendary tracks. Always harking back to the past. Days gone by. Love parade things. It's not love parade anymore. It's 2025, man. Push on forward. Fuck all this shit. Boring. Yeah, not for me. 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 I fucking hate everything about it. And the reason why I hate everything about it is because the Hobbsy that I know used to play shit like this. Shit like this. Okay, if you're wondering why I don't like that, because the Hobbsy that I know, or that I used to know, used to play shit like this. Listen to this blend. Listen to this blend. Listen to this blend and tell me it's not better than that whole shit you heard before. This is Job Jobse at Gala Festival here in London in 2022. So not long ago. He's basically wearing the same thing, by the way. Look how much better this is. Type of music, by the way, similar type of genre, but this bangs way harder. Not that cheesy shit he's playing. Big up Gala Festival. Love it. That's the Hobbsy that I remember. That's why I can't get down with that set he played at Boiler Room. It really kind of broke my heart. It really flipping did. But obviously, people on the Boiler Room community subreddit had some other words to say about it and kind of, you know, were maybe not feeling my POV. So someone added some context as to why he's playing that dog shit music. This person said the following. Just for context, on his Instagram, Hob obviously shared his set. One commentator said, I love you and I love your sets, but I didn't like this one. Basically what I said. And I didn't like the vibe of the entire Boiler Room. Too much commercial, too people just dancing for the camera, not really dancers. I'm really sorry for being critical, but I did just because I care and I love your sets. I don't adhere to the dancer thing. I think the dancers, even if they're dancing for the camera, I don't care. I want to see people dancing. I don't care if you're dancing for the camera, you're doing it to fucking get more views, more likes, or follows. If you're dancing, I love it because I don't like to see the crowds that are just standing still. It's a vibe killer and it just kind of takes away from, you know, it's kind of against what you go to raving for. You go to raving to let your hair down, to dance and get a sweat on. So I love seeing it regardless. So I'm a big fan of that. He replied to that person, says, all good. I appreciate your feedback. This is just one set. On one occasion, it was a very specific idea behind it. I totally understand that it's not for everybody. There'll be other different sets again. Don't worry. The problem is about this though, sets like this can put me off completely. Because even though this was a one set, and maybe he's saying this is the particular theme behind it, maybe the party he went to, like, you know, maybe the party had a particular theme that he wanted to sort of relate his set to. Someone like myself, I could get put off by one set. I don't have this context. Even if I have the context, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to watch him play again because that set was just so bad and so kind of like obviously trying to chase trends that it kind of puts me off you completely. That's the issue with chasing the trends and being that type of person. Because now I'm going to think you're going to play this everywhere because the temptation's probably there, right? The temptation's probably real. To be somebody like a Job Jobse who's been around for however long he's been around for, and to suddenly now have the ability to maybe make, let's say 2 times what you made before, 3 times what you made before, or maybe increase the frequency of your gigs, just if you play a couple more commercial, cheesy, hard dance, you know, Euro trashy type of songs, you know, who's to blame him for taking it? But I don't like it. As a head, I fucking detest it. Another person says low-key not hating this despite not being a fan of modern day boiler rooms. Another person says this is like the music I would play in my old modified VW Golf, driving around Leipzig in 2006, smoking joints with the homies. Exactly. But that was in 2006. I don't know if I'm still listening to the same music that I'm listening to 2006 now. Especially dance music wise. There's so much cool new things. Why is it constantly people harking back to the past? Like I saw some guy recently the other day playing an old school garage like set, like volume 1, volume 2 set. When you've been around this stuff, when you were there for when it happened, hearing it played again, like it's just, oh, boring, bro. Give me something new. Create some new things. Push some new stuff. Freshen things up. Make some new legends. Another person said here, he played this set with the idea in mind of paying homage to Dirty House, a genre which meant a lot to him growing up. You might not like this genre, but he did this very intentionally to piece together a different set from his usual style. No worries, he still has his own style. Okay, I still hate it though. He can, whatever homage he paid, there was a thinking behind it, I can still hate it. I can still think it's fucking dog shit. He can still say this is one set, I can still think it's dog shit, and it can still affect my ability to listen to his other sets and maybe watch him play another place because I don't want to go there and have to listen to this again. Another person says, is this satire? This is one of the history's most epic tracks. Freestyler was a movement of the schoolyard. It's the origin of the whole techno generation, baby. Beautiful callback. Very appreciative track selection. Okay, great. Are you playing fucking... Do you want to hear fucking... What's it called? Do you want to hear... What's that fucking song by... What's his fucking name? Hey, aha, ooh. Do you want to hear that every rave you go to? That's one of the best tracks in the world. That also was a fundamental... you know, what you call it, building block of house. Do you want to hear that played in every single dance? Of course not. Allow it. Another person. Unpopular opinion. This 90s Love Parade vibes, I love it. I detest it personally. I fucking hate it. If I want to see 90s Love Parade, I'll go see videos of Svenvar sweating after fucking ingesting every drug in the world. I'll go watch those videos. I'm not going to have people that are born in fucking 2005 playing 90s tracks and thinking I want to listen to it. I don't. I'm sorry. Main DJs tend to adapt their sets to the crowd and the place they're playing. I guess that's the case. I remember a great set from him back in the days in Pan when he was a regular booking. Yeah, okay, cool. I guess. You know this sub is washed when people are hating on DJs playing freestyler reworks. Did y'all forget the clubbing was supposed to be fun? Yeah, but this is not fun, bro. Listening to throwback classic tracks all the time in a club isn't fun. I want to hear new things. Another person says, I met Job back in 10 years ago in a festival. I asked him what his best advice was for a new DJ. He said, play the music you like. People will follow. That's not the case though, isn't it? He's playing things that people like now. He's going against his own advice. Yes, he might have liked it in the past, but he wasn't playing it before this become trendy, or it become trendy again. So let's allow this, like, oh yeah, play what you like. He's not playing what he likes. He's playing what he used to like, but he's also playing what everybody likes now to get more gigs, which I understand, but let's be honest about what's happening. On this set, he made a post explaining that he was paying homage to Dirty Dutch, a style very popular in the 2010s. You can see from the crowd engagement that they were enjoying it a lot. Yeah, because they're high and it's a festival. Of course they're not going to enjoy it. I didn't like it though. He always has a hit. He always was a hit diva. I saw him roughly 20 times. He was always playing at festivals I visited. He gets the crowds moving, catchy vocals, poppy piano house. This video is a step further in the direction, but it's really not a surprise. He's more of a party DJ, opposite of an understated, nerdy left field selector. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Let's continue. Next on the list, is this meme, innit? Is this particular meme. Pick up the person that did this, because this Elon Musk Nazi salute thing is pretty funny to see, especially being a bit of a Elon fanboy that I am at the moment, or that I was in the past. I'm not much of a fanboy now, I guess, in that respect, but it is pretty gnarly to see how Elon has turned out over the years, considering how he started and considering how I kind of got introduced to him was mostly through him being, I guess, like a technologist, industrialist, inventor, cool guy type of thing. And now he's like pivoted into being this like far right apologist, explainer guy, friend of what's his face, a friend of what's that guy's name, Tommy Robinson, right? He's fucking palling up with the fucking founder of the EDF and shit. It's really fucking disappointing to see. And I'm also wondering what the through line is between him being the person who went to Berlin to open the Tesla factory over there, the Gigafactory, trying to go and explore the city. He went to Berghain to try and get in. They didn't let him in. And now we're at the situation where he's giving Nazi salutes at the US presidential inauguration, as per this meme. What an amazing timeline we're living in. One time you're going to one of the most liberal, open-minded cities in the world. You're going to the beacon of like club culture, where everyone is free to express themselves and whatever. And then you'd imagine not really down with the Nazi shit. And then suddenly now you're doing a Roman/Nazi salute in places. Pretty crazy place that we're currently living in. But there was actually a video that I want to show you that was really kind of interesting. That kind of, an eye-opening video that kind of gave me a real kind of pause relating to Elon, that I want to play here, because this I think somebody in Germany made this. It was a video that was projected on the side of the Tesla Gigafactory, actually, if I'm not mistaken, and it kind of highlights some of the shit that Elon has done over the years, and kind of reminding people in Germany, or in Berlin I guess specifically, not to kind of support him. I've heard of stories of people deciding to return their Teslas, sell their Teslas, sell their Tesla stock because of that salute that he did, and everything else around it, especially his, reluctance to apologize and act like it was a Roman thing. And basically, it's a lot of kind of, I guess, dog whistling, I guess people could term it to be, when it comes to the Tesla thing. So let me see what I'm showing to you. I think the video is here. This is the video. Tesla, that's the thing. The video is called, was it Tesla Factory in Berlin, full video. I think there's another company that made this. No, I think the same company that made this made another video that I think was around to do, I think it was to do the election, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But this video is really well done. I'm going to play it for you here now so you can see what I'm talking about. Amazing flipping video. Kind of, again, made me sad as a Elon fan of his technology and his entrepreneurship and, the companies he's founded. To see how he's kind of turned out is kind of bummed me out. I'm not going to lie. Let's play the video.
Thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
This is the Tesla Gigafactory in Berlin, where Elon Musk builds Tesla cars for the European market. It's factories like this that have made him the world's richest person. But now he's using that wealth, billions of dollars amassed by selling Teslas, to promote European far-right parties. He's vocally supporting the far-right AfD in the upcoming German election, claiming only the AfD can save Germany. The AfD is so far to the right that France's national rally leader, Marine Le Pen, will not work with the party. Members of the AfD use Nazi slogans, constantly spread disinformation and trivialize the Holocaust. In a conversation on Twitter, Musk and Alice Weidel, the leader of the AfD, both spread misinformation and falsified history. Musk claimed that Weidel is the most popular candidate for German Chancellor, when in reality polls put her 5th. Musk also claimed the AfD is the most popular party in Germany. A complete lie. Weidel declared to Musk that Hitler was not right-wing or a conservative, but was a communist, a claim to which Musk said, very much so.
But big up Pre-Brand 4 Loco in the stream chat. Elon's been on an L streak ever since lying about his gaming. But it's been before that, and I would like to know, if those of you who are watching, or those of you listening to this is a video that's been projected onto the Gigafactory in Berlin. That's made by, I forgot what the YouTube channel is, but it's people that made it basically to kind of inform people on some of Elon's past misdemeanors. And it's really well done because obviously it's positioned on the side of a fucking Tesla factory for everyone to fucking see and hear. But I wonder, what do people think is the point that turned Elon? Because I feel like with Rogan, we know the reason why Rogan has gone kind of boomer and has gone right and has, you know, is kind of become a bit of a Trump fanboy is mostly to do with the lockdown and COVID, because at the time he was living in California and they had some of the most strictest rules around, you know, flipping going out and stuff, right, during COVID. I forgot the fucking rule of it. It's social distancing, all that sort of stuff. It's had some strict, I think some of the strictest rules around it, even in the whole of America, I'm pretty sure. So it limited his ability to do stand-up, the thing that he loves the most. And being super rich and whatever, he's probably been had access to do whatever he wanted ever since, you know, the time he's become successful. So his ability to, the state taking away his ability to do whatever he wanted, I think broke Rogan's brain and turned him to the right because he was fed up of people telling him what to do. So I wonder, what was Elon Musk's inflection point? Like, what was the point that he decided, you know what, fuck these motherfuckers? I wonder what it was. I'm not too sure what it was. I feel like he didn't have one. My gut feeling is that he just was obsessed with himself and started to kind of believe his shit didn't stink and started to believe he was just like genius guy, and the celebrity kind of got to his head and he's kind of turned to this guy. I don't think it was an inflection point, but I could be wrong.
And yeah. In reality, the Nazis were an extreme right-wing, racist and anti-Semitic party that murdered 6 million European Jews. Musk has called Angela Merkel Angela Merkin, a sex industry slur. In the UK, Musk has become a vocal supporter of Tommy Robinson, a former member of the fascist British National Party, who has served multiple prison sentences, including one for assaulting an off-duty police officer. Robinson, a football hooligan, is the founder of the far-right English Defence League. He has a history of violence and has been filmed attacking people on multiple occasions. He is currently in jail after being ordered by a judge to stop spreading entirely false claims about a 15-year-old refugee who had been attacked by another teenager at school. Robinson repeated the false claims anyway. Musk has backed him multiple times on Twitter. In recent weeks, Musk also came to the defence of Andrew McIntyre, a British neo-Nazi who was a key architect of racist riots that rocked the UK last summer. McIntyre set the time and location for the initial riot that targeted a mosque, drawing a red circle around it and adding the message, "Time for war." 50 police officers would be injured in the attack while congregants had to lock themselves inside. McIntyre then declared on the organising channels he established that the mosques must burn. The day before his arrest, he was calling for the killing of all Jewish, Muslim and black people, adding white power. McIntyre also shared a video of the 2019 Christchurch mosque terror attack, when 51 Muslims were murdered, coupled with a caption lauding the shooter as a white legend and making offensive slurs against Muslims and Jews. When he was arrested, a knife was found hidden in the boot of his car, and when his home was searched, officers found weapons and a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf. McIntyre used Telegram to encourage rioting, but Musk took to Twitter to bemoan McIntyre's 7-year prison sentence for organising the riots using social media. Musk also interacted positively on Twitter with Austrian far-right activist Martin Sellner. Sellner's identitarian organisation previously received a €1,500 donation from the Christchurch attacker. Sellner and the shooter exchanged friendly emails before the atrocity, with Sellner inviting the man to join him for a beer or coffee if he ever came to Austria. Sellner denies knowing what the man was planning. When Sellner last year complained on Twitter about being detained by Swiss police at a talk he was giving about what he calls remigration, Musk asked, "Is this legal?" Then there was Norway. Musk has shared a post comparing the country to the USSR. And Italy. He's called on Italian judges to be fired. And the Netherlands. Musk said the Netherlands will die out by its own hand in a Twitter conversation with far-right Dutch leader Geert Wilders. European democracy is being threatened by the world's richest man. But Elon Musk's wealth and power is in large part based on the value of Tesla. When you buy a Tesla, you're backing a far-right activist.
Wow. Very, very strong. And I wonder, man, at one point, like especially with me, when it comes to being an Elon fan, at one point you have to start to accept that the people that he's rubbing shoulders with, the people that he's kind of talking to and pally-pallying with, are more of an indication of what his views are than him just being open-minded. You know? That's what I'm starting to think. Like, at what point does that sort of matter? The people that you are friends with, the people that you kind of like talk to in a good way, the people that you're kind of championing, fighting for online. Is it just because you're an advocate for free speech? Or is it because you share some of the views that they have? Could that be the reason? Could it be the reason that you actually share some views that they have? Or are you just being open-minded? I don't know. Because it seems like the guy that I knew, the guy that I kind of, for lack of a better term, fell in love with as a tech geek, as a nerd, as a fan of startups and shit, as a fan of space, you know, as a fan of fucking aerospace design, you know, space travel in general, as a fan of you know, electric cars, as a fan of the Boring Company, as a fan of even PayPal when that first started. This doesn't seem like the same person. Like, what the fuck has happened? Like, why has he gone this way? You know? Like, what the fuck has happened? Or has he always been this person and I just was unaware and I was just fanboying out too much and I was oblivious to it? But I don't think that's the case, because I remember that Ashley Vance autobiography that I always keep talking about, that was really telling. That Ashley Vance autobiography was the one that kind of opened my eyes to like, oh, how amazing it was, because that was a really good unofficial biography on his life. But ever since then, he's kind of been this person. I'm wondering, has he just always been this person? But now he has money, he has access to do more of these type of things. I'm just not too sure. I'm really not too sure. But this other video that I'm going to show you, or that you're going to listen to, is another one that kind of makes me think that maybe this isn't a coincidence. Maybe the people that he's palling up with, rubbing shoulders with, are the people that he's actually more similar or more akin to. This might be the actual truth. This video, again, is another one that broke my heart. This is courtesy of the African Voice subreddit, and it features what's the man called? The man is called Errol Musk. Talks about Elon's maternal grandparents who were members of the Nazi Party. He's talking to this podcast, I think in South Africa, called Podcast and Chill, about Elon's grandparents being being members of the Nazi Party, which I had no idea about, by the way. Fucking crazy. Listen to this clip.
Her parents came to South Africa from Canada because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government.
Okay.
They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
And didn't that cause tension with you? Because you don't.
Yeah, that caused a lot of tension with me. And because I was a director of NUSAS, which was a National Union of South African Students, which was a very anti-apartheid body, you know. And I argued with them a lot, and they used to tell me, they used to be like rude to me, you know, and the parents, and then
man, I might have to rethink my support. Oh my god, Elon, bro, Elon, fucking hell, Elon, absolute nightmare of a guy, absolute nightmare. So yeah, that's the situation with Elon Musk. He's out here doing some mad things. He's out there doing some mad things. Continuing on. Let's talk about this. This topic is courtesy of the Berghain community subreddit. The title says, why are all newcomer DJs from wealthy families? Name me one who is not. I understand this debate and this conversation. I get it when you first discover it. I think when you're not that familiar with how it goes and the inner workings of creative industries, you sometimes are a bit naive to the realities of it. But once you get a little bit older and you have a little bit more access to other types of people from other walks of life, it becomes very evident to you that from the beginning of time, from the beginning of the creative industries existing, it's always been the case that more affluent people with more means, were able to be more involved in stuff like the creative art, especially in the adult age, because they had the ability to afford themselves to get involved in an art form that usually doesn't pay much, especially when you're coming up. As I mentioned previously, I saw in a title of I forgot the website, but it's like a Instagram account. I think it's One Granary Instagram account from students that were at University of College Arts London, or University of Arts London, formerly Central St Martin's, London College of Fashion, blah blah blah. They've all just been joined into one, and that's a magazine that's coming from that university. And I remember they put a post out on Instagram talking about how the average wage for somebody working freelance in the creative industry is like £13,000 per year, which I remember when I was coming up, I never knew that. I always thought people that work in freelance were making loads of money. I was just annoyed that I was having to work 9 to 5 in retail whilst making no money, and they were able to be freelance with like their laptop in their hand, walking around, taking meetings, going to offices and having studios and, having fucking Shoreditch house passes, membership, and making all this money and traveling the world and going to Paris Fashion Week. I didn't know that they were making peanuts and just making the most out of it. But obviously the benefit to come from it was that they were like time rich. So maybe they didn't make a lot of money, but they had more ability to kind of do what they wanted during the day. They weren't kind of chained to a desk. They could go to exhibitions, they could go to shows, they could go to launches, they could go to talks, they could work here, they could work there for this magazine, do you know what I mean, on a freelance kind of basis. But also, another thing that kind of hurt them was that a lot of the invoices they get paid are always late. So, I just assumed that they would just get loads of money. I don't know why, incorrectly. But when I saw that article, it made sense, because I thought to myself, you know what? That's actually one of the bargains that you do if you pursue a career in the arts. If you pursue a career in the arts, you're usually doing it because you have a calling. There's something that kind of is inside of you that needs to get out, whether it comes to painting, photography, art, commentary, design, whatever, critique. There's something that you want to share your opinion with the world. So you don't care if you make 13,000 a year. You don't care if you make 12,000 a year. Like I used to make when I was working in fucking, in the previous gig where you're literally making just enough to cover the rent. But as long as you're doing something that you love, it doesn't fucking matter. Now, that's always been the case. And I think for whatever reason, people just assume the only way, to make it is that way. Now, I think this is also a bit of a cope. Because I think rich people, rich kids, Nepo babies have always existed in the arts. You have to compete with them too. So you have to compete with the Nepo babies and you have to compete with actual talented people. This has always been the case. So I think saying this sort of stuff as a cope in terms of excusing you from doing the hard work, making it seem like, oh, there's no point me trying because everybody that's in here is rich. I can't afford to work as an intern. I can't afford to work on a freelance salary. I can't afford to have my invoice be late. Well, you have to fucking suck it up and get on with it. If you actually want a career in the arts, if you actually want a career in the creative field, you're going to have to put up with not receiving your invoice on time, not having any money, but you're obviously pursuing something that you love, that's your calling, something that's been given to you as a God-given gift, talent, whatever. That should be enough to drive you on. But complaining and pointing fingers at rich kids who are making it and who are able to do it, who are able to kind of be a freelancer working at be an intern working at ID, whilst having a flat somewhere in Shoreditch, that ain't gonna change the reality of the situation. That person's still gonna exist. They're gonna exist until the end of time. You have to learn how to compete with them whilst you also do your own thing, which means hustling, working 2 jobs, working a bar job because, you know, those jobs, or working in a restaurant, just kind of whatever jobs that don't lock you down because it gives you more time to do other things on the side might be beneficial. If you care more about money, maybe doing your creative thing as a hobby on the side and having a proper full-time job that pays your bills is the best way to go about it. But I think these sort of questions, these sort of like debates, topics are a way to excuse people from doing the work and making it seem like, oh, there's no point in trying. Let me just throw my hands up in the air. Rich people are here taking over. All the Nepo babies are here. I can't compete. Well, you're not going to compete ever. You were never going to make it. You're just looking for another excuse to stop you from being, you know, productive, or stop you from to continue your procrastination, essentially. Especially in the DJ field. Like, you know, all you need to do is upload mixes. It's not that difficult. Record mixes, put them on SoundCloud, stream yourself playing sometimes. I don't know, put on your own parties. It's not really that hard. You don't need to be rich anyway. You know what I mean? You really don't need to be rich. You just need to have a bit of hustle. You need to have a little bit of determination and you'll be fine. But again, in this reality, what do I know? Absolutely nada. I don't know anything. Let's see some of the replies here. Someone says here, same with a lot of successful painters. These days, you absolutely need strong financial support to pursue a career in arts. Otherwise, you would be on the street. No, you don't. That's not true. You could do both. You could work a full-time job, and from 7 to 12, you could use that time to pursue your career. Use the money you're making from your job to fund your career, like I was doing. It's not hard. It's hard, don't get me wrong. It's gonna make you crash at one point, but if you really want it, you'll do it. Anything that you really want is not gonna come easy. The calling that the thing that you think is gonna be your calling, the thing that you're gonna think is gonna be the thing that's gonna make you happiest, is not gonna come easy. You have to earn that shit through blood, sweat, and tears. And if it requires you having to not have a social life, if it requires you having to sacrifice relationships, friendships, family, so be it if that's what you actually want to do. But people aren't willing to do that. They want it the easy way. They want it the soft way. It doesn't come the soft way. Yes, it would be far better if you did have rich parents who could fund you. Yes, it would be better if you had a parent who had a second property that you could just stay at while you're interning somewhere. You don't have to worry about rent. Yes, it would be nice if your house was actually right next to fucking Vogue house, so you could just walk there. You wouldn't have to pay any rent. You wouldn't have to fucking pay anything to fucking commute anywhere. Cool. But that's not the case. You live outside of London. You don't live in London. You live in a small place somewhere else. You don't have much money. You're not from a wealthy family. You have to make it happen if you really want it. Make it happen or don't. But the crying and bitching about other people that have it is nonsense. It ain't going to get you where you want to get to. Another person says here, my wife is a dancer. Has been since the age of 4. Now 36. She's been able to dance her whole life easily because she was very rich. She has very rich parents. She didn't have to worry about getting homeless when she lived in Berlin 10 years ago. She also has only one time asked money from her parents. This guy sounds like he's hating on his wife. So isn't your wife a brilliant dancer? She just got there because her parents are rich? Or is it the fact that she's been dancing, she's just 4 years old since to 36, to 36, sorry. Come on, bro. That's at what? For 32 years. She's been dancing for 32 years at some capacity, and you're thinking the only reason why she's successful because she has rich parents. This guy hating on his fucking wife is hilarious. Her parents have never supported her decision to become a dancer. They wanted her to be a doctor or something in a higher education with her good salary. But there's always been that strong financial support behind her if she needs it. If you don't have that, you will have to be really brave and lucky to make it. But isn't she brave? It sounds like she didn't have to ask her parents for money at all, except for one time. Yes, maybe the comfort in your head is good, but this sounds like this woman's kind of killing it, to be fair. Especially if you come from a rich family. Why would you go through a grueling schedule, a grueling kind of life as a dancer for 34 years if that wasn't your calling? Because it's actually, in theory, if you think about it, it's actually quite admirable if you come from a wealthy background that you would pursue a career as a DJ or something. Like, why? You got money. Like, why the fuck do you want to be a DJ? You know? Like, especially a professional one. Like, flying to like 4 different European destinations from Friday to Sunday. Sometimes on a Saturday, you fly to 2 places. I've seen DJs do that, where they're flying from, London to Austria, Austria to Oslo, and then Oslo to fucking, I don't know, Reykjavik, on that Saturday. Then on Sunday, they fly to fucking Istanbul. That's a brutal schedule for a DJ if you come from a wealthy family. You should be on a beach somewhere, sipping fucking pineapples and shit. You shouldn't be, putting yourself through that hell. So it's actually admirable that people will do that. No, but financial security is something something person says here. Financial security is something freedom to pursue creative passions without the pressure of making ends meet. Yep. I guess that does help, don't get me wrong. But I also think poverty and lack of achieving your dreams and seeing other people achieving theirs, can also drive you. Can also be a very good driver. Like not being invited to a fashion week, not getting an invite to go to a studio, gallery opening, a studio fucking open, whatever, maybe even not getting an invite to, maybe not even getting the private invite for the Dover Street Market friends and family sale thing, whatever. All those type of things can be a real driver, especially seeing somebody younger than you who's maybe started the industry later than you making it. You can be like, oh my god, I need to get on my fucking shit. So in the same way financial security can help you to maybe make you not have that lingering thought in the back of your head about what you're doing, it could also help you if you have nothing. It could also be very good. Poverty is a very good motivator, trust me. I've grown up very, very poor, and this motivated me to do a lot of stuff in life. Another person says, age-old question, the struggle for working class gets harder every year. Another person here says, 2 ways to get established as a DJ are mingling, networking at afters, something that 9 to 5 people most often cannot partake in, and putting on events, upfront cost prohibitive for those living in pages. Again, these are all not solutions. These are all excuses. This is not true. You can do this. You can, as a working person, don't listen to this advice. This is fucking garbage, this person. You can, as a working person, 9 to 5, mingle and network at afters. You just have to don't drink or don't do too many drugs. And you could also mingle and you could also be good company. You could also learn how to have fun in places where you're not super fucked up and high, like everyone else around you. That's also a bit of a skill. Or even pretending, like I've done in the past, acting high, acting drunk, to kind of make sure you don't stand out. People don't ask you constantly, oh, do you want to drink? Do you want a line? Do you want this? Do you want that? You can just act away or have something in your hand to make it look like you're drinking something. You could also put on your own events. It's actually easier to put on your own events if you got money coming in for a job, because the money, is consistently coming in. You don't have to be worried that, oh, if I put this £1,000 in this event, I'm going to be fucked. No, you can just do it for the sake of doing it. So this is a lie. You can do those type of things, but it requires some adjustments. You can't get on it. You can't go a bit crazy. You have to adjust, but you can do it for sure. You can do it. Another one says, he continues, life is a playground for some people where they only need to concern themselves with exploring their creative fantasies. That don't mean to take away from the fact that they are good at what they do, all the power to them, but I just hope that they can hold awareness that a lot of talented people, hardworking people can't live. How is that their concern? But I hope they can hold awareness that a lot of talented people, hardworking people can't live out their dreams. So life ain't fair. That's the way it is. You have to work out how you work it out. Like, if there's a person that's homeless on the street, do you swap their lives for yours because they are homeless and you're not? Or do you try and help how you can and just keep it moving? That's the way life is. You have to figure it out. You're competing against a rich kid. You're competing against the veteran. You're competing against a savant, a talented person that just came out of the womb ready to do that thing and didn't have to try too hard and could do it with their eyes closed. That is how it is. And sometimes the person who's talented doesn't make it, just a person that's hardworking. Sometimes it's just that way. Sometimes it's that happens, and that can be annoying for some people. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Figure it out. Honestly, this advice is terrible, man. 100% honesty. A lot of these young expats and turning Germans are like you, hanging around, don't live in the real world, shopping at VU store, fancy restaurants, and BH every week. But yet they work as a barista on low-paying creative jobs. They don't know the struggle and never will. No hate, but definitely the meaning of privilege. Privileged people are always going to exist, man. Especially in the creative fields. It's almost like some of the creative field, maybe especially people buying, they all come from privileged backgrounds anyway. Maybe the art is coming from the working class neighborhoods and stuff, but for the most part, that's just how it is. God damn it, bro. Like, hating on someone that's got money just because they're doing something that you want to do, act of jealousy is weird. If anything, it should motivate you. It should motivate you. Okay, cool. If they've made it, I can make it too because I think I'm better than them, and they've only made it because they're rich. That's what you can say to yourself. But this is just excuses. Excuses for inaction. Another one here says, oh, I don't care about that one. Another one here says, often background in music, like already knowing an instrument, music theory, equipment, even small controller costs money. But look at Instagram, how many already have an X-Zone 96 at home? Financial security and dust time to play. No Nepa baby, need to learn. So, okay, cool. I'm going to go through this easy. Often background music in industry, learning instrument, musical theory. Don't get me wrong. The musicians and DJs who come from a conventional classical music background, you can tell the difference because they know music theory. So someone that studied music that can actually play an instrument, If you give them a pair of turntables, they're likely going to kill it. Let's be honest. Especially if they play like classical music. They're into like headier stuff. They're not into like the standard stuff that we're into. This is a specific niche type of a music that's very kind of detailed, layered, maybe hard to decipher, hard to kind of, it's a bit nuanced. If you give them a pair of Technics turntables, if you give them a pair of Pioneer CDJs, they are going to kill it. Let's be real. You know, they're going to kill it. You know they are. But you can also teach yourself that by getting in production, by maybe expanding your music palette and your interest and your taste and going that way. It's not difficult. Equipment. A small controller costs money. Not that much. Just relax. You can buy controllers. You can buy controller apps on your phone if you want. You could use controller apps on your phone if you want to get started on DJing. You could use Virtual DJ, which is basically free. You can buy controllers from Pioneer, from like, I guess, or what they called now, Alphavetta, or whatever they're called now. You can buy controllers for basically £50 plus, which is basically like a baggie. If you save money from a baggie, you can buy yourself a controller. Every baggie you're buying is a controller, is a headphone, is maybe a monitor, is a hard drive. You can easily save up if you stop going out, stop buying baggies, and purchase your equipment. It's not that difficult. Save up for it, purchase it. Financial security does time to play. Again, you can make the time if you want to make the time. No Nepo baby need to learn something. No Nepo baby over need to learn something safe. So again, I think all these are excuses. Personally, I think they're all excuses, and I fucking hate to see it. But again, no surprise, because you know some people out there love to blame everybody else but themselves for the situation that they're in, apart from looking inwards and trying to focus on what they're doing. But again, what do I know? Because maybe everyone struggles different. But I think excuses don't do anything. I think accountability, ownership, understanding the journey, and also if you're in it for the right reasons, it really doesn't matter how long it takes. I don't think personally. If you're in it for the right reasons, yes, it's a bit annoying when your peers are overtaking you and shit. But if you're in it for the real reason, if your passion is actually what you're into, and you're not doing it just because you want to be cool, it won't matter how long it takes because you're doing something that you love. Every day you wake up, it's a fucking gift. It's a privilege in itself that you get to do what you love. That should be the main reason why you're doing it. And you get to share it with the world, share it with your little community. That should be enough. But some people, it's never enough. They want the other thing. If you want the other thing, you have to push and go for it. You have to do that. If you don't, it's never going to happen for you. But again, what do I know, man? Absolutely nada. Nada. I don't know anything. I don't know a single damn ass thing. Anyways, people, that has been it. That has been the Agostinho Zinga Show episode number, what did I say? 864. Thanks for tuning in. Been a pleasure to have your company. If it's your first time tuning in, please make sure you like the stream down below. Also, leave me a 5-star review, please, if you can. Leave me a 5-star review. That'd be greatly appreciated. For those of you listening to the audio podcast, there'll be the tune of the day playing. My tune of the day is going to be Central C Top Freestyle from the album Cont Greatness. Like I said, it's one of the best albums to come from a UK artist since Dizzy Rascal's Boy in the Corner. And I think Top Freestyle cements it. Amazing freestyle. I love the content of what he's saying. He absolutely slides all over the fucking beat. It's fucking amazing. Please check it out. So fucking good. So that'll be the tune playing underneath my voice. Those of you watching the show, unfortunately, you won't hear anything because YouTube's copyright laws and whatever rules are going to block my video, so I don't want to get it blocked. So big up everybody tuning in. Quickly before I leave, let me just quickly check over the comments here. Based on what I was saying previously, most of these people get a lot of help from their parents. Says Zero Cool. They want to compete in the arts because they're not interested in money, but because it's immaterial for them. Yeah, maybe that's true. Bro, he would know though. Big up Don Doctor says, I mean, it costs for those dance classes. Yeah, that's true. It costs the dance classes. That's a good point. We only see the successes 1% that make it through from the poor working class. The other 99 either fail or give up. Yeah, that's true. And also a lot of rich people give up too. A lot of rich people also fail. I've seen a bunch of rich kids try and be DJs and then not work out. Buy like Pioneer turntables, everything. You know what I mean? Pioneer CDJs, the whole shebang. You know, they have fucking rotary mixers in their fucking flat somewhere and they just don't play anymore. You know what I mean? They're just giving up the dream. So that could also happen. Big up Mr. O in the house as well. AZ, I mentioned this point before. If you're a real artist, you get fulfillment from the art, not matter what you do. Exactly, Mr. O. Exactly. Big up Mr. O in the house. And Addy Z, musicians understand BPM. Exactly. And yeah, random show later on. No, random show on Sunday. Not tonight. Big up Manuel Holden Elia. Random show on Sunday. We'll be back on random show on Sunday. So check me out on Sunday. No random show tonight. But I do appreciate you tuning in. And big up Andre too. Spoken true words. Got to get your shit together. Exactly, Andre. And coming from me, by the way. Coming from a guy that went to an airport with a passport that was expiring next month. I need to get my shit together. So when I tell you guys to get your shit together, I'm just speaking to myself because I'm even more of a mess. I'm even more of a mess. I should know better. But I know I've been through those processes. I've been through the process of like blaming everybody else but myself, you know, bemoaning the world. It's not fair. It's not fair. Doesn't help. Doesn't work. Doesn't go anywhere. You have to look internal. Look internal. Hustle hard. Knuckle down. Whatever you want to get in life, you will achieve if you hustle and you hunker down. But you're not going to get it if you keep opining and bemoaning the rich and what they're doing, because rich are always going to exist. What you can change is you. You can't change them existing. You can't change how the industry is structured. You can change what you're doing and your input and your impact. That's what you can affect. But again, what do I know? Thank you for tuning in anyway. Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 864. Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream. See the contacts down below. If you want to contact me, description, all that stuff is there. And I'll see you guys again on Sunday for the random show, and probably on Sunday again for another episode of Tazz. But for now, take care. Peace. Have a good one. It's been a banger, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.